I was paused on 9-9, so I'll watch that later.
Actually, I'm just gonna go back in the VOD and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I'm just paused 9-9.
I'm on 9-9 right now.
I just hear Galactic talking through my headphones, like I can't even fucking understand what he's saying because my earphones in.
Wait, who's streaming right now?
Me.
EXE linked it in the chat earlier, like before all this shit started. So we've just been watching. I mean, I didn't get to because I had to leave my computer because shit was lagging. So I haven't been able to hear what they're saying. But yeah, you can see EXE stream if you want to hear what they're saying. Probably really funny.
Alright, one sec.
That was a good round, the 9-9 round.
Really?
Yeah, that's a really good round.
I'm interested to
It was
see
a retake situation.
Right. I'm guessing on the B side because I saw they were heading toward that.
Yeah, B side.
Zachary.
If you think at all that it's going to be B, you need somebody playing bench, playing MT, committed to the side. Zontic's needed to get two to stabilize.
Man, I'm actually happy to see this game. But yeah.
I hate the stickers, man. They all have them.
Isn't Yezi still in here? I bet Yezi would have voted yes.
I don't know. I have no idea. That guy just remember Tricky. Just remember what happened yesterday, where this guy just changed his opinion. No, I don't think the song overstayed its welcome. And then you two say something after I say something, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, I think it overstayed its welcome." Like he was so like, that was like a strong opinion. It was not like, "Yeah, I guess." It was like, "What? How did you change so quick?" He's not even like reluctant.
The rest of his team, however, in some of these spots aren't complimenting that op kill that he could find as an opener.
I don't know. I think we're about to see a zoo revival here.
Actually, he has been pretty popping lately.
That's because you're back, Flurm. It was dead for a little bit before I got banned.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, ever since that happened, it's been pretty alive. I think since like July.
I remember around the time you banned me, Trickies. Wow, crazy.
Cascadian doubles back just to make sure he can clear it. Jabby's lurk as well. That's gonna catch one off guard. Zontic's just running and they're going back.
Trickies, why did you get so mad over the re-trolling? I was so clearly trolling over that. How did you get so gurged by that?
I was just trying to focus. That wasn't even why I banned you. I mean, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back because like I was trying to focus and like it was throwing me off, to be honest. But it was like the shit you were saying about how like EXE, you were like trolling EXE and like trying to piss him off on purpose, him and Galactic. And like whenever I was trying to like make everyone get along, you were like intentionally like throwing that to make them not want to join. So that's kind of why I banned you. Like you said that the day before, and I was just like, that's fucking retarded. Like I almost wanted to ban you then, but
did I really say that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there's a bunch of other shit you said that I don't remember, but it was like all that stuff was just like, man, made me want to ban you, I guess.
For anybody to take over in their moment.
No, I was definitely being an ass for sure. I'm not even denying.
No, someone like there was a point where like I remember you were in an argument about like what was it? It had to do with like commerce in certain like areas of the country or something, just some like random shit. And I remember like you were focusing on CS, and then it just became like a fucking argument out of nowhere.
You're talking about like a year ago?
No, it was probably like 3 months ago. It might have been. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
I didn't.
Sorry. Yeah, Fortnite. No, you're right. It was Fortnite. Yeah, I remember that. So there were periods of time in which like
we're arguing about that. I wasn't talking about that, but then like transformed into something else, I guess.
Okay. Well, either way, it just seemed really toxic and shit. Like it just like it seemed like you were trying to focus on the game, and there was like an active like debate going on in the call, and you were like telling them over and over that you were giving, but at the same time you were also giving opinions on the debate, making you active in the debate. So they assumed you were part of it, and we're trying to.
That was the debate. No, that was whenever he said like the thing about the lazy people, and that was so retarded.
Well, yeah,
those lazy people.
That's
Look,
the
that's
one
just
that got
that was
me.
just me feeling some type of way though. Like, yeah, clearly I know that's not like totally right, but like also it's like holy shit, how many of these HR roasties are gonna get like positions of power over like hardworking people and just fuck with everything? You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
we didn't know what you meant by that. It was just
No,
kind of a
no, definitely what I said was pretty blatant. Like, definitely meant when I said what I said it, but like
you
obviously like
explained it later, like a few days later when I brought it up in the general
yeah,
chat. But like
yeah.
you
It was
kind of,
definitely
but like
a
as a
moment of
general
faith.
statement, it was retarded. Like as a general statement, it was just like one of the dumbest things I've heard.
In these 3v3 moments, it has been Astralis consistently
But
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
to get that
Sure.
bomb planted.
There was also a debate about oil at one point, if I remember correctly, like
What,
petrol. And, like,
bro?
yeah.
What world are you living in, bro?
What?
That
No,
might
there
have been
was.
someone,
There
no,
was.
that might have been someone
And
else.
actually,
In the beginning.
I think that was y'all.
I don't remember.
Man,
I'm not talking
okay, I'm
about
tripping.
oil
I'm tripping.
with people, bro.
I'm tripping. My
Unless,
bad. My bad.
unless
I'm
it was
tripping.
Dank and Galactic. I don't talk about fucking
The
oil.
voices.
Dude, when does Galactic talk to me like without you here, Trickies? Like, be real.
I think it was directly you and Tricky's talking.
Yeah. No, I don't. Why would I have been talking about oil?
I don't know.
Like what?
I don't know. I don't know.
EXE being a pedantic fuck. I thought you were done typing. I thought you were gone from the server. No, that's all you need to say.
I'm gonna type that.
No. I'm gonna type that because you were done typing.
You do it. 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 Is your idea anyway?
Chopper gets his what, 6th and 7th kill of the game when it matters the most.
Typing.
Watch him leave.
Yeah, watch him leave. Yeah.
It's been so infrequent that Shiro gets a chance at an opening kill. He is always rotating into these mid-round moments where things have already started to go south.
Maybe we can actually get fucking song brackets.
No, that'd be great. I've been trying to get into one of those for like a year or two now.
Yeah, 2 years.
I'm just trying to show you guys some Sun Raw, man. God damn. You gotta deal with like political drama and shit, dude. I don't know. Like state states going on. Yeah, like what's going on here? Like we got I'm just trying to send you guys some fucking Phil Evans, bro. This is stupid. I gotta deal with fucking state politics. I got like are there micronations, like Zoom micronations? Like what is this?
I didn't know about the Zoo Fantasy micronation.
What is
How do I get a citizenship?
What?
I don't know. It sounds like you need to give Galactic and EXE just complete ruling power because that's what they expected, you know. That's what they wanted.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You should give them admin.
That incendiary burns out so fast that Jabby can take a second glance. Cadian scoops up bomb. Astound's task to get closer towards the window. Chopper peaks.
Bomb spotted top mid.
Yes, it's such a sick game.
As he goes out for that.
I know, dude.
Down misses the jump. 25 seconds isn't time to be
Whoa!
like this. Not
Bro.
Maybe Jabby
What
can
the
get a kill.
fuck was that?
Okay, I can explain that. No, I can explain it. So I'm about to quit vaping again, but like I had this bottle of juice and my vape broke, so I had to wire up. I cut out the battery and I wired up the USB positive and negative to the battery terminal, and that USB cable runs to my hub. And my mic is plugged into the hub, so whenever I start hitting it, it causes interference. So I'm sorry. That's why I've been.
I just heard.
There's a little like fucking card in it, and it just says it's able to connect to the internet, and sometimes it just kills the router when I it just auto connects. It auto puts in guest one every single time on hotel internet. It's like.
Gets dropped on catwalk, forces his hand.
This has been a great matchup so far, stylistically, that's for sure.
Oh, I'm in a mall perimeter of Billy Joel right now, by the way, from Green Day. The Green Day tour is happening where I live, and the actual tour bus, there's like a hotel next to where I live, and it seems like they are currently here where I live. Should I ask Billy Joel if Tank should to sue?
I think you should.
Should I sit out of the hotel and wait for Billy Joel to come out? Be like, yo, there's this guy, and he's been kicked out of the server on Discord.
Explain to him he's a very controversial figure.
Yeah, he's a very controversial figure. Should he be should the ban be amended?
The thing is, Spirit have been so comfortable playing without any type of A anchor at all. Missed their window
Who do you want to win out of Spirit and Astralis?
Once Donk starts to move over, if he sees that gap, he'll see nobody coming up.
I'm
I
a
guess
lot.
Spirit.
Attention to help on apartments. This could turn into a lethal bottleneck for 12, or do they just barrel forward?
I think they're just a more fun team to watch.
First one
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to see them advance. Let me see what Dawn can do.
I find Astralis pretty fun with this new Cadian pickup.
Yes, they do. At the end of the night,
Yeah, I think that might be. Ooh, that might be a wrap.
to be able to take 12 first, but Spirit knew that they were going to save, let 11 come.
Yeah, Spirit didn't make it. I don't think they made it very far in the last tournament. So
Good protocols when it comes to
if they get knocked out again early in this one, it's not going to be a good look.
On this round, it has nothing to do with mid. It's really simplistic towards the end on the B attack. They didn't take advantage of what made them win rounds earlier, and that was multiple lurks. That was mid control.
I hate 3 timeouts. Are you fucking serious?
Oh, we've seen how
3 in a row back.
I love the timeouts that are used after you win.
nothing. I mean, they got some pistols, they got utility.
But yeah, just trolling. ATM.
I can't sit through.
Can't what?
I can't stand to watch EXE stream. That shit's cringe.
Have they been saying anything?
Dude, they're
No
talking
idea.
about Japanese, and then they're like, Watashi wa. It's like, dude, nobody refers to themselves as I in like Japanese. Like, nobody says Watashi.
Right, unless you start the sentence off like, or like the convo like that. But no one even says Watashi. Jibun, Boku, Ore, Atashi. But yeah, I let that. I let them have their fun. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating. You can have your fun.
I'm big hating over here. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I've spent enough time to, yeah. Man, otakus really make, like, Japanese people want to stab people, I'm gonna be honest.
Wait, would you say?
Oh, I think otakus make the normal Japanese people want to stab people, like people
Wait,
people
what?
relative to Japan that aren't otakus. I think
Oh,
it's like
otakus.
really bad for the culture of Japan, honestly.
Oh yeah, otakus are really bad.
Okay, America nuked Japan, right? And then we start up Hello Kitty, and then we're like, all right, we got to make cartoons. They have to have some automobiles. Good, check. All right, entertainment industry, check. So now you have like actual people just trying to live normal jobs or trying to walk home, and you just have a bunch of like Desu.
Yeah, Desu. Yeah, no one even says
I'm
Desu.
trying to get home from my job. I just live here, dude.
No, I think they get bullied a lot in Japan by like regular Japanese people because they just don't like them there.
Get you out to a white pigu.
I'm pretty sure they don't like otaku because
Well, like
otakus are a problem because what do you call it? In terms of like, because you know there's the older generation is like way there's more older people basically, and there's less that means there's less workers to hold up increasing older population. So they're like, oh shit, we actually kind of need to. We actually do need to integrate these people into society.
And whatnot. I mean, it's a huge political gain for them.
But it's also like sorry I cut you off, but it's like
it's fun.
it's one of those like collectivist, like if you're not participating, it's sort of like, you know, you look down upon if you're like different and that. So these people not participating, it's like you're sort of like extra ostracized than you already are.
So the cool thing about getting a bunch of outsourcing and like throwing that into like tourism and then putting that into your society is that you can judge these people through their ideals of tourism or what the country is before they join it, and then use that as blackmail to keep them in the country. Sounds really weird, but let's say I went to France and didn't understand the language, but I really like French culture in some weird way. Perhaps I liked their you know, their culinary culture or something.
Yeah. Actually, that was a way better example.
Our architecture also works, like the Eiffel
Tower,
etc. And I go over to France without knowing French, and I'm like, oh yeah, jamais Eiffel Tower, jamais American, and they're just like, that's another fucking American. Okay, cool. Like they can do the dishes, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, and then they, you know, like they're like the conversational flow is gonna be really stagnant because it's gonna be I like the Eiffel Tower and I'm in France for the American, and then someone who lived in France their entire life, like, yeah, I have to look at this stupid thing every single day when I go to work.
Yeah, that's actually the beautiful thing about being out from outside the culture and appreciating it, because it's like you don't choose where you're born, right? So it's like you're not necessarily gonna like where you live, right? But then there's like someone across the world that moved here just to like see the scenery that you took for granted, or you just actually kind of find mundane because you see it every day of your life. Yeah, I do. I do like that about like people just relocating themselves and just be like, yeah, just go where you think looks cool. Like you don't need to stay where you are. Move state, move house,
as long
move
as you aren't
city.
over there like going desert to every fucking
Oh
Japanese
yeah,
person you
that's what I'm
see on
saying
the streets in Japan. Then I
is
mean, I'm sure you'll be fine. I think at this
yeah.
point they're like scarred and like pretty much jaded to otakus in their country because of how insane their tourism gimmick is.
From what I understand, like a lot of Japanese people don't even really care for like Japanese media, or like they also like look down like upon people who are like really into
Yeah,
anime
that
No, you're looking
is
at
kind
Nico
of
Nico
true.
JP for actual Jap. Like they have their own YouTube in Japan. It's called Nico Nico. Like
Is Nico
there's
Nico
region
even a
based.
thing anymore? I swear they don't even do
Yeah.
that. Use that anymore.
No, Nico Nico is still a thing, man. I don't care.
Really?
It's like Facebook in America or any of the EU countries. Yeah, it's like one of those that people have, but they don't normally use unless it's like something serious. Like it's just like if they have like I don't know if I could compare it to YouTube actually. It'd be more like a YouTube like Facebook merge, but still they have
Right.
their own social medias and whatnot. That's at least how I consider it. I've seen like how it was with vlogging and whatnot. There's like social media add-ons they have with Nico Nico. It's integrated into like they have their own like software and everything for social media. So really interesting.
Kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting because Japan has been more hardware than software. They've dominated in hardware.
They weren't allowed to build rocket ships after World War II. So I mean, they spent a lot of their time engineering other things. That's why their vehicles are really good, actually. Because like they were barred from building space. Yeah, they were barred from building like spaceships and things like that. So they just spent all their time like getting really good at making cars.
There's a lot of American and European automobile industries that used the country after the war for so. Same with South Korea.
What is it with these Asian countries? I always hear bad things about South Korea. I've never heard anything good about South Korea.
They have
in terms of living there.
Currency. They have an insane currency. It inflates randomly, considering geopolitical events since they're next to North Korea.
North Korea.
Because of that, living costs change constantly.
Also, there's no way like that hasn't stabilized.
Wait, what?
I said there's no way they don't have a stable currency.
I mean, it's stable, but it's like it's not. I'm not saying it's unstable. I'm just saying the currency inflates in really weird ways. There's a lot of like influence through NATO, their country. I mean, when you say stable currency, you mean it's not failing, correct? Or like there's no probability of failure on the currency.
Or I mean, stable is in like. I mean, yeah, stability is synonymous with
not changing.
Not changing. Sorry, being a good currency, not a failing currency. I mean, as in South Korea gets a lot of investment. Like people are not going.
Exactly, it gets a bunch of investment.
It's not like some like African country that has like a lot of natural resources, but it's just like this is not stable at all. Like some other warlord's gonna like take power, whatever. There's gonna be another coup or some bullshit.
No, it's too backed by NATO for that to ever happen. If it did, it'd be a fixed puppet by NATO. Like if there's ever any overthrowing of the government of South Korea, it'd probably be something backed. operation or something. And it sounds really bad, unless there's some like and something happens with North Korea, because it's such a like very specific point on the planet directly next to North Korea, and they have like nuclear capabilities as a dictatorship. Most of NATO and even the the ops like Russia, China sort of thing. They both focus on this area to stay stable heavily. If anything happens,
rising again between North and South Korea, from what I heard, like tensions have been rising again.
You know what's fucked though? It's like you would think that South Koreans would be like, oh my god, North Korean came down here, that's so fucking sick. Like, how's life like? Because that would be my reaction as a layman. But it's like, apparently it's like they just keep themselves hidden. People aren't really crazy about North Koreans.
So assume that a North Korean goes to South Korea. That's a fucking spy. That's a spy from North Korea. Oh wow, you freed yourself. That's crazy, because I watched like 5 people get shot in my lifetime trying to free themselves from North Korea. That's wild.
I don't think it's like, oh, I think that's like a possibility. They're thinking like, oh yeah, maybe a spy, but it's like, you gotta realize these like regular South Koreans. These are not like political operatives or anything like that. I think from what I hear, the perspective is like indifference. They just don't even really care that you're North Korean, or maybe they'll just believe you for being different, which is really weird.
Very interesting. Very interesting country.
That's like a culture I just can't even begin to understand. I've never heard anything
North
good
Korea
about
and
it.
South Korea are intermixed. There would be family on both sides as well with it, which is really weird.
That's
like the weirdest part.
There is, but it's like family is in like more of like a blood relation thing than like, oh yeah, like I actually know you, like, because the people are just so old at this point. It's like the younger generation of the generation where it's like, oh yeah, we don't even really, like, we're not even thinking about reunification like the older generation. They just don't even really give a fuck, and it's just like, whoa.
I mean, I think that North Korea sends like garbage bags with balloons over the border.
So, I've heard about that.
That's because South Koreans apparently were sending over like propaganda to North Koreans.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I bet there's a massive propaganda war between both of those. Apparently they hate like South Korean films. If you get caught with a South Korean film, it's like way worse than getting caught with an American one.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Imagine life being a fucking North Korean. That shit would suck.
You know what's really funny?
Their own personal gaming platforms. They have like bootleg versions of Nintendo products in North Korea.
Right.
It's not surprising.
It really isn't surprising.
When I see these sorts of dictatorships, I was rambling my ass off about Turkmenistan a few days ago. Kind of similar vibe. Honestly, Turkmenistan, best dictatorship on the planet. I fuck with Turkmenistan.
That's a wild dictatorship, because what I've heard about that is that like the supreme leader or whatever the fuck is like he loves to like he wants like people to worship him.
Yo, he's a messiah. He's like Jesus Christ, and he also DJs, and he's also your leader. That's the best way I could put it. Like that's.
But he's like a leader. That's like he's like, please love me. He's like that sort of leader. That's why I hear about that. It was given to him from there was like a kind of a dynasty going on in Turkmenistan until this person was appointed. So he's like the first out of blood to be a dictatorship or do a dictator role in the country that wasn't like backed by blood in the last 100 years or so. I actually don't know shit about Turkmenistan apart
Dude,
from.
It's fucking crazy. Dude, it's such a crazy ass. It's in between the Middle East and
I know
Eastern
where it is.
Europe.
It's above Iran, right. Like Caspian Sea.
It's literally, it's like if that shit fails, we're looking at like I don't care about all the weird ass like cyber attack from China. If Turkmenistan like tumbles, we're fucked. Like that's gonna be World War III.
What?
Like that's my like own like schizo conspiracy. Like if Turkmenistan fucking falls out, dude, we're fucked, because that place is keeping the peace right now. This is weird ass. it's in the it's if you look at where it's at, like you have Eastern and Western Europe, and then the Middle East, and it's just in the middle of like what countries are on the top right of Turkmenistan? Just think about
I'll
it.
probably just Russia.
Israel. No.
Israel? What?
Israel's south. Israel's south. My bad.
Israel's not in the. Israel's what'd you call it? Like Levant. That's like in the Arabian Peninsula. Turkmenistan is above Iran. And like between I think to the right of it is like Kazakhstan and all that shit. So it's like way more Central Asia rather than Middle East.
I was thinking Israel was fucking more west for some reason. Yeah, that's my fuck up. I'm not a geographer.
Way more west and way more south. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Let me just get on Google Maps.
Yeah. Egypt and Saudi Arabia, I believe.
Yeah, Turkmenistan. Okay, it's under Uzbekistan. I thought. Oh, okay. I thought Russia was just directly above it.
Look at where it is. Think about the geopolitical issues happening currently with like the invasion of Afghanistan for the United States, and then like like Russia and China and also NATO through them going into these countries in the Middle East, and then Turkmenistan is going on top of it. That's all I'm saying.
Turkmenistan is irrelevant. What the fuck?
Whatever you say, dude. All I'm saying is this prime minister doing donuts at the gates of fucking hell, dude. That's it.
Damn, I didn't know Kazakhstan stretched that far above Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, too. The fuck. Kazakhstan is fucking humongous.
Shout out to Pakistan, the way better India. For real.
Nah, I'm way more a fan of India. Nah, actually, I do like Pakistan, to be fair.
To be fair, I don't like either of them, but...
When did Galactic join? Oh, what? I'm here in their stream.
Oh, yeah, listen to that stream. Wait,
Yeah, I
Turkmenistan.
had it turned off.
Leader
It's not on my
does.
computer, but I just joined back.
Oh, is that the flaming crater that's like been burning since that Soviet Union?
It's the gates of hell. They technically own it. So what happens is like it's like the only real tourist attraction outside of Ashgabat, which is the capital, because it's plated in gold. Like mostly the government buildings are plated in actual gold, which I mean is literal Minecraft. I'm gonna be honest.
That actually is Minecraft, yeah, like first base.
No, listen, if I made a capital in Minecraft, I would absolutely put gold on everything. Like
nah, that's
like
what you do.
Diamonds,
That's the first what you call it? That's when you first go into creative mode, and you're like, all right, let's build like the like the nicest house. But then you realize how tacky it looks.
Bro, yo, literally. It's insane. So like those are the only tourist attractions they have in Turkmenistan outside of worshiping the dictator and being part of Turkmeniswazi or something.
Yeah, these are just countries I'll never hear about.
I had a friend. His father is one of the higher up executives of Bloomberg. Or I call him a friend. I met him a few times.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cap.
I was gonna say I don't know about Cap. That's kind of Cap. I haven't talked to him in like years. But a dude went to Turkmenistan, right? And apparently like it was awesome. It was really. He said it was like going into a fever dream. He's a Russian citizen, by the way. He lives in Russia. So
right, that's already a fever dream at this point.
Yeah. So, anyway,
it's actually so true.
I wanna. There's one city in Central Asia I wanted to visit. It was Samarkand, but I don't know what country it's in. I thought it'd been it's in Uzbekistan, Samarkand.
Wait, where did you go recently, Fleur?
I went to Slovakia.
Okay.
Yeah, not in Central Asia. But this is a city that does not get talked about enough. Like enough of Tokyo, enough of Seoul, enough of whatever beautiful city, Paris or whatever. Samarkand? That's the city.
Like you said, Liquid kind of digging deep into the playbook to pull out some different opening inside of
And it's probably really cheap because nobody knows it. Yeah, actually, honestly, let's keep not talking about Zamakin because.
Caesar Mosque. Let's not talk about it anymore.
Let's not talk about it anymore. No. Let's not talk about it anymore. So we get the just keep it cheap. I don't know.
I'm still waiting on Galactic to join this VC.
Yeah, that's not happening for a while. Amusement park. It's just called amusement park. Oh no, Yoshik Attraction Park. This is This looks like COD 4. Ukraine. What's that place called? Chernobyl. This is what. There it actually does. Wait.
Yeah.
It's got the Ferris wheel. I only looked at the little shitty wheel. I don't even know what it's called, but then I just see a Ferris wheel in the back.
Exactly what you're saying. It looks just like Chernobyl.
There's just some punk kid in this train.
With a little child, that looks so Chinese.
Yeah, that Turkic people are like look pretty Asian. Got Bugs Bunny. Some random kid in here. Yeah, these trees, these winter trees, Chernobyl vibes.
Okay, there's a lightning queen.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
There's like nobody there. It feels so empty.
There's Chinese, yeah, there's Chinese writing here. I think that's the character for beautiful. At least in Japanese it is, Utsukushi. And
Yamei means beautiful in Chinese.
What is it? What's the pronunciation?
Mei, the one that you're Mei, M-E-I, Mei.
Right.
So is that like Make-Wool is like synonymous for beautiful land, like, and it stands for the United States.
I was gonna say like Meiguo, like I was gonna say like beautiful country because I know like Zhongguo.
It's wild. Zhongguo means like second or something like that. Like they rate themselves second to the United States.
Really, I thought in the middle.
Middle, yeah, middle land. I don't know.
Middle, yeah, middle, because it's like Middle Kingdom. Because I think they're the center of the world, like back in the day.
Oh yeah, you might be right on that though. That's probably where it came from. But what I heard is that like they consider it like second now, like second to the United States.
Really? What the fuck?
Yeah, so weird. Well, they have like an obsession with the U.S. from what I understand. I could be totally wrong. That could have been propaganda. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Right. I heard if they have an obsession, like I've heard, like they want to move to the US. They just like that. Their number one thing is okay. We need to move the fuck out of this country. That's their obsession. Anyone that's like rich enough to move, they just like want to get into. They want to just become overseas student because the requirements are way more lax. We have to be pretty wealthy.
But like U.S. schools are like, I think.
Some of the best in the world.
Really well, yeah, some of the best in the world for sure.
Yeah, compared to Chinese schools.
My grandma and my aunt were a nurse, and my grandma was a nurse. I'm gonna talk about her because this is where it's more important. But yeah, my grandma was a nurse. And she like got her degree in the United States like way back in like the 60s or whatever, 70s. I don't fucking remember. But she ended up moving to Iran.
That's a strange place.
Well. It's a long story, but yeah, my dad and my grandparents lived in Iran and Saudi Arabia.
Was this through MedCorp or? Sorry to interrupt. No, it wasn't. It was just like an actual native move.
No, it was through a job.
Understand.
I'm gonna figure that out.
Not fair enough.
I think you can guess what was going on in the.
fair enough, bro.
So, I know once she moved there, like all these hospitals and stuff, child women Alexis.
Yeah.
Hospitals and places were like begging to pick up my grandma. Like they just wanted her to work there because like they really want like American doctors and nurses and things like that because like the quality of education is supreme compared to other places.
Mm-hmm.
The way the medical industry works in America is a bit different from most countries because of how like capitalized it is. Like it's yeah, it's like I remember someone I talked to from Iraq who may or may not like have a lot of money was like, yeah, I would never go to, like, if I had a, if I, even if it was a gallbladder, I would literally fly all the way to America to get it taken out and then fly back. Because of how bad the health, not only because of how bad the healthcare system is where he lived, but at the same time how good the healthcare system was in America. It's like if you ever talk to like a Marxist or anything, just bring up like how good the cancer research is in America compared to the EU.
Yeah, no, not just cancer research, just research in general. America's really good at research. Basically, world leading.
Yeah, because it's privatized. Because it's completely privatized, it becomes a competition.
And it's super funded. It's
it's
super
integrated into the
funded.
education systems as well. So the privatization is integrated into the public school systems of America. So it's like a pipeline to privatization. Like regardless if you go into a public school and you have a you want to go into some sort of surgical field, then you will inevitably get funded through a private organization, regardless. So that's how the funding works in America compared to the EU. When it goes to the EU, I mean, you're looking at like like EU, like there isn't really other, like when it comes to healthcare, you're looking at there's some, like, I mean, Russia's pretty decent, China's pretty decent. You're looking at superpowers and like NATO-backed countries that are like trickled out information from the superpowers essentially. Anyway, yeah.
McDonald's.
Yeah, McDonaldization of healthcare.
No, I'm looking at this image and there's a McDonald's icon at this restaurant. You know what's really sad? Going to other countries and then just seeing English shit. And it's just like, oh fuck. That would suck. Actually, it's not that bad because I don't mind playing games and then seeing what'd you call it? Like, oh, okay, like Japanese writing in like Pokemon, you know, like when you use Fire Blast or whatever. So I don't mind that, but it's like way more prevalent. You'll just see English writing, maybe like shirts in English, and it's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, some of your identity is being lost there.
In the area.
The thing about English is like what, world's most popular language.
Yeah, that's why it's like the world. It's like the, you know, it's like if you go outside,
English,
like
Spanish, Chinese.
Everyone speaks English. I went to when I went to Slovakia, like people my age were speaking English to me. And they spoke it well too. I'm like, fucking hell, like just saying Yezi typing is infinitely worse than the way you speak. I wouldn't be surprised if you could write better than him. And that's a fucking indictment on Yezi. He's really bad at typing for some reason. I mean, his speaking level is also pretty.
What, Gaming Ninja too? Gaming Ninja cannot type.
Oh yeah, he was really bad. Yeah.
I think he's improved a lot. He's improved a lot since I've talked to him, but seen from him. But yeah, no, he's still. Oh my god, you would think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. And what would you call it? When Yezi speaks, he likes to use a lot of filler words. He'll go like, maybe because he like talks a little bit too fast for, like, he's just not used to talking or something. I don't know what it is. Well, actually, that's all just cope. It's just like he loves to use filler words like fucking. Every sentence once you know it's like when somebody uses like all the time. Like they're talking a little bit too fast. A lot of
times in that sentence, I'm not gonna lie. I heard like
fucking
like. Yeah, my brain is working a little bit too slowly right now. But you know what I mean. And a lot of ums too. Look at me, like
No, I'm the same way.
But it's okay to use filler words because we do make up sentences as we go along. But when you use it every sentence, it is a little bit much. You need to reanalyze how you're speaking, or you need to listen to yourself speak.
I like the word I think that's my favorite word. Just saying instead of like putting random words out. Way cooler. Even though you sound stupid.
My favorite word is
you're stupid.
Not to, you know, shit on Yezi, but it is just facts that
Sounds like you're
people,
shitting on Yezi.
a little bit.
You're
people,
shitting on Yezi.
people that don't, it was just really weird for me to meet people that don't natively speak English, and it's not only that they spoke English pretty well, but it's the fact that they're grammatically correcting themselves in the middle of a sentence. It's like, oh wow. It's like you're
I mean,
very
it could
cognizant
be,
of what you're saying. It could also just be nerves.
I'm glad I haven't hit the LA exit. Dude, fucking probably playing basketball.
What would you say?
He's probably playing basketball. I don't
He
know.
does this all the time. He just dips out of VC.
I maybe went for a walk or something.
Yeah, no, he'll do that. He'll go for a walk for like 3 hours. I feel like walk is code word for something. I feel like you can't just be walking for like 3 hours. There's no way.
I'm pretty sure he actually just does walk, but for 3 hours,
I
I don't
believe
think
it.
it's
I
anywhere
believe
near
it.
as well.
Well, they're not taking
totally believe it, 'cause
enthusiastic
after a
walks
walk-
tonight, bro.
Like, this is a 12-12 game.
I'm not saying Tricky's doesn't do these things. I believe it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, there's definitely something else going on. There's no way. No way he's just walking.
come on now.
I don't
Awesome.
believe it.
Speaking of which, I have a business call. Fun talk.
I like that business school. That's definitely a cold word. With him, that's definitely a cold word.
Yeah, for sure.
You lost.
Speaking of, I have a business call.
Got a conference call. Hold on.
I got a few things I gotta do here soon.
Okay.
I'm already like putting it off, but whatever. It's
Yeah,
not
I'm
like
ready.
If I mail it out today, it doesn't matter.
I'm already putting things off. I've just got an ice pack to my head. Like, my head's just fucking killing me.
Well, what happened? Why are you?
I got ill. Actually, I didn't know. I thought it was like, oh, is there something wrong with my head? Like, do I have a tumor? I would just go to like the worst thing possible, and I'm just like, you know what? I wouldn't mind if I die. But that would suck. That would suck. Because right when I said I wouldn't mind if I die, I'm not saying that as like, oh wow, you know, I'm just so depressed, you know, like life is not worth living. I love life. Like, life is fucking good, by the way. Like, living life is cool. But it's one of those things where it's like, like super like determinist thinking. I'm like, well, if I was gonna get a brain tumor, it's like there's nothing I could really do about that. I just have to be content with that. Like, I can't, like, I have to live my life like, like Walter White, you know what I'm saying? Like, after he gets cancer, he's like, living his life to the fullest, like for the last like 2 years that he lives, right? It's like I want to live my life like that.
Oh man, if I find out that I have cancer, like, dude, I'm crashing out, bro. I'm not even joking. Like this, I'll be pissed because I've been busting my ass for so long that like
Right.
I'm gonna push off living life a little bit till like later, once I like finally have stability and like money and things like that. But like, because I'm right about to hit that point, so like, and I only have like a year left to live, crashing out, dude. Fuck this.
Yeah. You can't be like, fuck, I'm like, it's over, you can't be like that, you have to live every second, the way that you want to do it, take control.
It's what the Lord wants from me, not what I want. It's what the Lord wants, Fleur.
That's my that was my thought process when I said what'd you call it? That was my thought process when I said I don't mind if I die, as in like I can't be too sad about it because I can't do anything about it. If it's something I can, like, it's like, oh fuck, like dying like some dumb way that's avoidable. Yeah, that would suck, but I'd be dead. I wouldn't even be there to think about it. Unless it's like, I'm like smoking or something, and it's like, or I get some like cardiovascular disease because I'm like fucking, I don't do exercise or something like that. It's like, oh okay, well, obviously that's my fault, and I would actually feel pretty bad about that. I'd never, was able to do anything about, any of those things.
Well, I'm trying to like quit vaping because I don't want to deal with like lung disease later on in life. That's
right.
And I'm sure I've cooked my lungs a lot from smoking, so I think it's about time that I put it down for a bit. Let my lungs recover.
What's your like technique to stop doing it? Do you just say like, oh, I'm gonna quit, but you don't, or like do you have some like plan? Like, do you have like a plan on how to stop doing it?
You definitely have to plan it out. You have to think about it a lot before you like commit to it, because you gotta get into the mindset. Because if you just like one day wake up and it's like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore.
Oh yeah, that's the worst thing.
It gets really easy to relapse. But if you've been thinking about it, and you're taking
I think you have to think about those things. For me, because it's like if you're highly motivated to do something, so let's say going to the gym, right? It's like if you're highly motivated at the beginning, that's going to push you through. But I say like the deciding moment to if you're going to stick with it or if it's just a phase is, okay, what happens if, you know, you get ill and now you have to, you know, take time away from it? Or what happens if there's a major change in your life, like you move cities or, you know, you get a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the fuck? What happens?
Sometimes you do have to take a break from things. Like
You have to take a break, but you're going to get back into it. That's the thing. It's like, can you fit into your schedule? And will you make excuses like, oh, you know, I just need to take a break from it? Like, that's always the worst thing. It's like, okay, can I actually realistically fit into my schedule? That's always what you want to be thinking about. So it's the difference between motivation and discipline. Like, you can be very motivated to do something. I'm sure we've all had moments like that where we're really, really motivated to do something and then stop doing it after like a week or two. You have to be one of those things where it's like a discipline thing, where it's like, no matter how bad your mood is.
I've been lacking a lot of motivation. I'm not even gonna lie, like, dude.
Right. Motivation is good for like, but I don't think that's the only thing you need. Like, you genuinely need discipline.
No, for sure. Discipline is very important. And I guess my problem when it comes to quitting smoking and vaping or whatever, is that I've just constantly been surrounded by people that vape. So
oh, that's the worst thing.
The cravings are unreal. Like you get close to someone or like you go visit someone and like like yeah, you're gonna want to hit that. Like, you know what I mean? It's just really hard.
Yeah, that's what.
My biggest problem.
That's why whoever you like whoever, I don't know who the fuck you go to see, like counselors or whatever the fuck, to help you with addiction problems, they'll tell you don't hang out with people that do the thing that you're trying to quit because you just get back into it. You have to just cut those people out of life. That's why some people are like super fucked, because they'll have like family or something that smoke or whatever, and it's just like, oh fuck, you know, that's really tough for you. Like that's a tall order. Like we're social people, you know, we do what the crowd, you know, a lot of people just do what the crowd does, you know, and we're, you know, pushed to that. Yeah, it's really tough.
And that's the problem. It's that like it's not that my parents smoke.
Do they? Right, yeah? Or did you cut out?
No, I just shorted out my hub. Everything disconnected for a second.
Okay.
It's not that my parents smoke. They don't. Or well, my dad has a cigar every once in a while, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It's
recreational.
Like when I go like work a new job, everybody's vaping, everybody's smoking. Or if I like go to some event, somebody's vaping, somebody's smoking. Like it's just so hard to get away from this shit, dude. Like that's been my biggest problem. And like I like after like quitting for a month or two, it's like, all right, like if you hit it once, all right, it's not that big of a deal. But if you're around it constantly, like, you take a hit, and then the next day, you know, I'll just take a hit, and then next thing you know, you're just like constantly hitting it, and you're already back on it. And that's been my biggest problem, is that every time I quit, I've been around people that still do it. And I guess my issue is that I haven't been able to tell myself like, no, just don't. It's not worth it. Because you get that buzz, because I know that buzz is sitting there and waiting. Because like when you quit and you haven't used it in a while, and then you hit it again, oh my god, the buzz is insane. It's like the first time you used it. It's powerful. It's powerful. I mean, it's an issue for sure. I don't know how my girlfriend managed for my ex now, I guess. I don't know how she managed to like not ever want. Well, actually she did, and I would tell her no, you can't use it. I wouldn't let her hit my vape because we both quit at the same time, but she actually managed to stay off. I didn't.
Good for her, I guess.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It is tough. It's very tough. I just need to fucking power through things, I guess. I need to get off of it again for sure. I'd absolutely like to get off this shit again.
Why did you even start vaping in the first place?
I was young. I was like 15.
It's always when you're young they get you.
Yeah.
And you have to like, yeah. That's fuck. I was talking to EXE, and he started smoking from like a really young age. I think it was like 12 or something. And it's just like, and I'm talking about cigarettes. and it's just like fuck. And like he still like occasionally does it, like dabbles in occasionally. When I mean occasionally, it's like it's intermittently. He'll like oscillate from not using it and then using it again, and it's just like fuck. Like I feel bad for you because it's like okay, your whole family has smoked, like his whole family smokes. So
And that's the thing. That's why I get so mad about some of this stuff because I know like if you just never got involved with it in the first place, like you'd be way better off. Like
oh
you
exactly,
just
yeah.
want to know, and most of the time you don't care to know. But now that you've done it and you're in it and you know what it's like it's hard to break it.
Mm-hmm.
It's why I'm very passionate about a lot of like things, like why I really like hate porn and things like that. Because
Mm-hmm.
it's just once you become a slave to it. That's ultimately like my main point. Like, and I speak from experience when I talk about this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's not like to just bash people just to bash people. Like I'm no better.
Right, yeah.
I know I'm no better.
Everyone's got a
You
vice.
know.
Well, not everyone, but as in like they don't all come in the same shapes and
I know. I
sizes,
guess
but yeah.
my biggest issue is that like a lot of this shit is targeted at people while they're young. Like it's intentional. It's by design. And that's why I hate a lot of it. Because I know the goal is to get people hooked while they're young and stupid and ignorant and things like that. So um, yeah, I'm very passionate about the topic for sure, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I was just lucky to just be around people that never did.
Yeah, I was very unlucky. You'd be surprised how very affluent people are like just really into degenerate shit. Because I grew up in like a really wealthy community,
Right.
like you probably don't know who some of these people are. I know you know who Jared Fogle is though, the Subway guy.
Actually, I don't. Look at
You
me.
don't remember the story of the Subway guy who like got caught with child porn or
Wait,
whatever?
Jared from
Jared,
Subway.
yeah, Jared from Subway.
Okay, yeah, I only know him as Jared
Yeah,
from Subway.
that guy was one of my friend's neighbors.
Oh, okay. Wait, I wonder
Like,
what happened to him. People always like refer to him as like some like ghost that got shot or something. I was like, who is this guy and what did he do? Oh, I finally know the answer.
I think he had a bunch of child porn. I think he was going to like Thailand, things like that for children. I think where I'm going with that. So
Right.
he was into some really weird shit. He was a weird dude.
Oh, good
But
luck.
like yeah, that like I remember when he got arrested because that was in my hometown. He lived in my hometown,
Mm-hmm.
and like Twitter was blowing up, and those are the kind of people that like I grew up around, and you just be genuinely surprised like some of the bullshit that goes on. It's crazy. It really is for sure. That's why I never want to live in an ultra wealthy community ever again in my entire life. Fuck
You just
that.
want to be middle class. This is the
I want
default.
to be middle class. I want to be around like real people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like so many of these like really wealthy people like just live in fucking La La Land. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like you'll ask for life advice and like yeah, that life advice only pertains to like extremely wealthy people. Oh, just like move and buy a house somewhere else and
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you do realize that like you are not like most people. And just like I'm not like these like ultra wealthy people, like I don't relate to these people.
Mm-hmm.
But then, a lot of them are like, oh, it's okay if like your kids like smoke weed at the age of 14, like, or if they drink or
Probably
smoke. And
not.
some of these people are like hosting parties for their kids that involves underage drinking and things like that. Like, ugh, it's insane. I
Right.
know one kid whose mom was a neurosurgeon, and like $500,000 a year salary. Like they made a shit ton of money. And you would think that like a neurosurgeon would like kind of know what to do when they're pregnant, but like she still drank with a child in the womb. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Fucked up shit like that. It's crazy. It's evil word. That's what I say. It's evil word. Yeah.
That is pretty fucked. Yeah. And I'm like,
Imagine being. Yeah.
I think alcohol is like one of those things where I think as a society we've like sort of successfully demonized smoking to the point where it's like um it's not one of those things where like the government, well, it's not like the government didn't get involved, because they definitely did, but it's not like, okay, we're just going to ban smoke. And it was like one of those things where it was like a massive push to demonize cigarette smoking by, you know, many groups, to the point where it's like, I'm basically, in my head and how I grew up and a lot of people, at least where I'm from, it's like smoking is like considered like extremely unattractive. You don't want to do it, and you're kind of a bum if you do. You know, you just make the place stink. It smells like shit. So there's like a lot of things where we've like successfully demonized to an extent, of course. People still do cigarette smoke, but I think drinking is like one of those things where it's like, I don't know how the fuck that shit is so prevalent, and the fact that there's like basically.
I was gonna say, I saw a statistic. Sorry to cut you off, but I saw a statistic that like the newer generation is like heavily
they drink way less. Yeah, it's way less. Yeah, we do way less, but I think it's just like alternate vices. Like I think a lot of people now, it's like I think about like me or you. It's like we're way more on the internet, and so we're not in those social situations where we're drinking. It's like drinking on Discord isn't a thing, so we just never gravitated ever to those vices. I think that's what a lot of it is, but we just have different vices.
Drinking on Discord is totally a thing. I don't think you guys have ever done it.
Yeah, drinking on Discord, but it's like who's doing it? It's like people from.
There's people that like get together.
People that smoke on Discord.
No, what I'm saying is the generation that is more likely to be drinking on Discord is older than us. Like that's like way. It's like when you're playing video games, like when you're going into CS lobbies, people are not. It's not like the youngins that are drinking on like in games, and those are the people that like I'm meeting people my age on like Minecraft. It's not fucking drinking on Skype or anything like that, and now on Discord. So it's just not something that's like super prevalent in our generation, because we're not going outside. We're not, you know, communicating with people that can give us drinks. We're on fucking Discord. We're not communicating with those people. So
dangerous, by the way, very dangerous. Like I'm actually terrified for the future of like our generation right now.
Right.
Looking really busted by the day, you know.
But yeah, there's like other like negative externalities with what you call it? I guess like, you know, being super on Discord, where, you know, socializing now IRL is, you know, like people have, you know, anxieties, you know, on the up, all these like mental health conditions, where I think some of it is just like, it's just, you know, more appropriate to talk about it, but I think a lot of it does just come from like excessive social media use, and then also like weight problems. It's like not only are we living more of a sedentary lifestyle, it's that you know, it's not only that we're getting mental health issues, it's that now we're living more of a sedentary lifestyle because we can get everything from our home. So obviously, you know, cardiovascular diseases are fucking terrible. They're just really bad for you. So, you know, sitting down at home all day, yeah, that's definitely not a good thing. Or even at work, you know, like you're doing some office job or anything like that. Like a lot of jobs are just sedentary, sadly, nowadays. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of you know, the problems have changed, and not necessarily for the better.
I think a lot of there's a lot of societal like decay in relationships right now. Like I think it's really bad actually. Like I'm somewhat terrified.
Wait, you think there's what?
I think there's a lot of like societal decay, and it's causing a lot of relationship problems, and I think it's causing a lot of societal issues as well, for sure.
Like what?
People just aren't as generous nowadays as they used to be. I think that's like a huge one, in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I think back in the day, like, you had to rely on people more. But like now, like people would tell you fuck off.
You're not going to your next door neighbor like, can I have a spoon of sugar or anything like that. I guess there is like there is just like less connection that we have with, like, you know, it's like, do you know your neighbor? You know, can you just go up to them and go like, oh yeah, can you just like give me a bit of sugar? You know, I'm making a cake or something like that. That's not something I would ever even think about.
So much less than that. There's so
No,
much
that's a
less
good
of
point.
that now.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, no, we need to bring that back. That would be.
Every apartment that I've lived in, I've like never talked to a neighbor. Nobody's
Yeah, no,
introduced themselves to me. Nobody's talked to me. Like, and I guess I haven't done the same either. But
yeah, no, exactly. It's definitely like, you know, from both angles. It's like, yeah, no, it's like I've never been asked to, you know, ever go and meet my neighbors. I don't give a fuck. But that does lead to a world where it's like, if you're more disconnected and isolated from people, then, you know, you have way more of an incentive to help the people that you know. So if you don't introduce yourself to people, then that's what happens. Is that we are less generous and shit like that. And yeah, I do think there is a social media effect where the social media has basically become like the anti-social media, where we're isolating ourselves into communities. And we don't necessarily have the ability to talk to people that we don't like. So let's say like you see, we just use a Discord example right now, like which is Siberia, which is the alternate Discord server that people in here have, and maybe there's like a few other people that are not endemic to Zoo. That basically so earlier what happened is Galactic asked the VC, and then they went to Siberia to VC instead of in here, even though the people are all in here. The people in that
it's
call.
even crazier because I asked him to VC before that.
Right. So they can isolate and disconnect from people that they don't want to talk to. Well, that's fair enough. Like you don't want to talk to everyone, but then you don't have the ability to handle conflict with people that you don't know. There's some people where it's like a lot of people that I became really good friends with, the people that I actually didn't like in real life. Like my best friend was somebody that I had major beef with, and he became our best friend. And it's just like when you have to interact with people that you don't like, you learn a bunch of different skills. Like, okay, how do I handle conflict with other people? How do I exist with other people that you don't like? And you're just gonna have to know that, especially like when if you're like working in a place that you have people that you don't like, but you need to hold that job. How the fuck are you gonna do it? You need to know those skills, and those are really important. And people are actually really losing those skills of how to talk to people that they don't like, becoming really anxious and antisocial. And I just used a case study, case study one, which is look at people in here.
No, it's absolutely true. I mean, the rules are also being like kind of cooked in that manner too, where if you do like try and handle things, like you get in trouble for it, you're fucked. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of told to like
Just don't steal, don't steal from your job.
Yeah, dude, I'll try not to next time. I guess. Shit. Man, I was supposed to be suing them about some of that shit, but like I just can't at this point. Like I don't have money to, and I don't want to get wrapped.
Too much energy.
It's just not worth it. It's not worth my time. Fuck them. Like they'll get what's coming to them. But aside from
By the way, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Oh, I was gonna say, aside from that, yeah, people aren't able to handle conflict, and even if you are trying to handle conflict, like the zero tolerance policy in schools, where like if you're getting bullied and then you fight back, like both of you get in trouble. Like that's ridiculous.
I hate that. Yeah, that
so
made me lose my mind.
Pacified a lot of this generation.
Yeah, it happened to me, bro.
Me
yeah, it's happened to me before.
Yeah, no, I think all of us can attest to some kind of experience with some of that bullshit.
It wasn't like anything like it was just like a one day thing. This kid was throwing rocks at me the whole fucking recess, and I fucking punched him because he wouldn't stop throwing rocks at me, and it was hitting my eyes, and it fucking hurt. And yeah, we both got super in trouble.
I remember I think this kid was like bullying me or whatever in 7th grade, and I called him a faggot. And I was the only one who got sent down to the principal's office. This kid didn't even really get in trouble. Like it's ridiculous. I don't even hate the dude now. We were just kids, like fucking around. I'm actually pretty cool with the guy. Last time I talked to him, but like it's just shit like that where you can't even like sit and defend yourself without having to do some shit. I think that's another huge issue. I think it's more of just like a trying to pacify people type situation where you don't want people to be able to like fight because that's really bad if you're trying to control people. I think a lot of that's been going on too. Man, people also have been taught to be very emotional, in my opinion. There's not like the reason why I enjoy engaging in debate online is because it's a very logical like act. It gets you to use your mind to think about things.
Oh wow!
Like I don't know, like if you guys have noticed this, but like, and I'm not gonna say like I'm not a victim to this too. I mean, I'm a very passionate person, but Like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like debate is like really emotionally coded. That's why I'm like, fuck.
yeah,
I actually need to pull, like, at least in VC. I'll debate in VC, but I'm not doing it in text chat because text chat debates are always like they never end well. It's just two people talking past each other because you can't like interrupt somebody or clarify what you're talking about, and so it's just like, oh, you're not even talking about what I'm talking about. Fuck you. You know what I mean? It's like that's why I actually just prefer modern debates because it's like, oh, I'm not emotionally invested, so I can actually do that cold logical approach where I can just be like, okay.
well, here's the thing too, is that like I don't know, like this I've definitely noticed this with like political debates, but it's like uh people will just like argue like one thing and it's just like an emotional argument. It's like, oh well, like for example, abortion. I'll just give an example.
Right.
Yeah, but like you could sit here and like discuss the logical reasoning on why abortion is bad and should be banned. And then you'll just have like the other party, oh, like uh woman's body, woman's choice. You don't carry the baby, so you shouldn't be talking about this. Like, just stupid shit like that. Or like for example, to give a better example.
Wait, why is
Um
that? Wouldn't both sides be emotional?
Yeah.
no, one side no, because the
That's
anti-abortion argument
lagging.
is like sorry, well it's
I'm
hard
saying
to
like,
check
wouldn't
this.
both sides be
No.
what's it
One
called?
one is much more logical because it takes into a lot of account, right? Hey, like you shouldn't like legalize abortions because one, it can cause a lot of traumatical issues on the women. After one, it could cause them to go infertile. It can cause all sorts of things. And then on top of that, you're denying the right of life to someone else who doesn't even have a say in it, which I think is a much more logical argument than emotional, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and then other people can do a logical argument talking from the same foundation as you because you went from the foundation of like, okay, medical issues. That can happen to the woman. And then
Yeah,
people can just make the case of abortion for other medical issues that can hurt the woman if they in the case of them not having an abortion. Wouldn't that be also another logical argument based off the same foundation?
right. But what I'm saying is to relate this back to the debate argument is that you don't see a lot of that. You see a lot more of
I do agree,
it's
but
it's
I
my
think it's
body,
from
my
both
choice. My
sides.
body, my choice. No, I don't
Yeah,
think
I'm with
like both
her.
sides are innocent. I'm not saying both sides are innocent. I'm just providing an example of like what I see. I'm not gonna say like one doesn't do this
I
and one
hate the
does
my
because
body,
they
my
both
choice argument. I think that
yeah.
I think there are way better pro abortion arguments. Definitely not my body, my choice. The fact that I can, for my own
Yeah,
convenience, kill a child, is really bad. It's a really
I
bad
don't know.
Yeah, I
argument.
agree.
I'm super against the idea. I really hate. I mean, I don't even really want to get involved into the argument because I do see both sides, but like I'm also like religious and then on top of that, like
Right.
Bro,
uh
it's there.
So is it conception for you?
Like you're like abstinence. It was just like randomly spawned into you. You know what I mean?
Where
abstinence
you
That's
is
cut
the way
out.
I
definitely
look
the
at it.
most important choice.
I
I
said
think
people who
abstinence
say that are acting like there's no their abstinence isn't a thing, and like the baby just spawns in.
yeah, no, exactly. And it's like, well, uh, we need sex. No, you don't. You don't need to have sex with a
Yeah,
bunch of
not at
people.
all.
Like, as a matter of fact, I think it's a totally. I think the whole like I really hate this. Right, this is going to something else. This is kind of straying away from our original topic, but man, I think the whole hookup culture thing and things like that were designed intentionally to like destroy the familial unit and to make it very hard for the opposite gender to get along in a relationship and to
But why would it be
have a
designed
long
to do
term.
that? Because it has so many issues on all aspects of society.
Well, what do you mean?
Well,
Well, sorry,
if you
I
break the
didn't hear your
familial
question.
unit, it's that you have, a stable unit to raise a kid, to be successful, to have, discipline and anything like that. So if you
Well,
break
it's not
that,
even. Yeah, exactly.
then you
Not
have
even
a
that,
lot
but
of
like,
people that are not functioning in society. So you have, I'm just assuming
yeah,
increased crime rate, you have more
yeah, no,
unproductive people in
exactly.
society. How could
If you look at the statistics, yeah, like the men who come from single mother homes are much more likely to be arrested, statistically speaking. Much more likely to be in prison for like, violent crimes, all sorts of things along
yeah,
those
I just don't
lines.
understand why this would be manufactured to when it makes
I
society
seize control.
worse.
I seize control. in my opinion.
I think that's a
it's
lack of
intentionally
control, though,
destroyed.
no? Because if you have
Well,
people
no.
going against the laws, you now have lost control over people are no longer being disciplined in society. And there are a
Right,
bunch
but
of
it makes
negative
them more. It
externalities.
makes them more vulnerable to emotional manipulation.
Well, was it the people that you said grew up in mobile homes?
No,
No,
single
grew
mother
up in a
homes.
single mother
Oh,
home.
oh, I thought you said mobile homes. I was like, what the?
But
This isn't
Tricky's was
really
like,
that.
no, that's me.
Nah, luckily, thankfully.
No, yeah, it's things like that, and then on top of that, like, well, there's power in numbers, right? If you divide, it's divide and conquer. If you can't have someone to come together and like, you know, figure out solutions to problems, um, it just makes it very difficult to, continue to meet goals and move
I
on
don't
in life.
I don't think these people have been conquered though. I think they are just a nuisance to everyone. Even because these people are not like super politically active, they're usually pretty ambivalent. They're usually causing ruckus to everyone. Like nobody likes these people. I don't know what control people have over them. I feel like it's just nonsense.
I no,
For
I think
everyone.
the control comes from emotional manipulation, for
But what
sure.
are they emotionally manipulating them for? What end?
Political reasons, or to convince them to do certain things, right? Like
But
for
like
example,
what?
right? Look at the crack epidemic of the 90s.
Okay.
You break up the black family unit household,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes it much easier to get a group of people to engage in behavior that would be very destructive.
I think it has been destructive.
Yeah, but that's my point. That's like I think a lot of this stems from, political groups intentionally designed to destroy certain aspects about society, for sure.
I think if anything, if anyone has
That's my
designed this, it's really backfired because I just don't think having would you call it like having the black community be really broken helps anyone. And really it just causes a nuisance for let's say
It does
you
cause a lot
have
of
to
problems.
you
But
have
if
to
you look at
administer. Yeah, go on.
I want to say this right now. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off because you brought up a really, what I think is a very important argument. You think it makes it very hard to make people control, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this is why I was saying that the political reason for political votes. Look, if you look at the statistics of voting history in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
if you took out all white people and like all other groups of people, so if there were only black people living in the United States, the
Mm-hmm.
entire map would be blue.
Of course.
96% vote Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's like normal? That's not normal. That's very
that com-
abnormal.
that completely makes sense though for what black people would want. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And the history of the Republican Party around a lot of these people, and it's a lot of it is
well, the
changing
Republican
now
Party.
too.
Do you actually not know the history of the Democrat Party? Because the Democrat Party is the original history or the original party of the
We're
gay
talking
movement.
about before people. Yeah, of course. Yeah, Democrats were the ones that what you call it? They were the southern states. They're the one that seceded from the union. Yeah, I'm not talking about that history. I'm talking about in living memory. We're talking about
Yeah.
obviously civil rights movement. We know that the Republicans were definitely the more racist ones over there. It just isn't attractive to a black voter to vote for that. And really it's changing now that, well, actually, I don't even know if I have to say the Republican Party still has a lot of bad rhetoric for winning over black voters, especially with the recent cats and dogs Springfield, Ohio. That definitely wasn't good. But for the most part, like if you see the demographics are
That
trending
was
more
Haitian
like
immigrants.
young
That was Haitian immigrants. They weren't
Haitian immigrants,
targeted.
but Haitian immigrants are black. And so
They're not
when you
even.
see that rhetoric, as a black man, or just a black person in general, you are gonna feel a certain way about that.
Really, are you saying that like you can't, differentiate like a Haitian immigrant like directly off
No,
the
it's
nose
it's
from
about
like
being
the
a
average black person?
no, it's about being a minority group and then being used as a scapegoat.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but I don't. I think you're under like I almost don't like what you're saying because I feel like you're implying that black people can't like differentiate the two.
But it's not about differentiating. It's about seeing a pattern of, oh wow, a minority group is being attacked, and they are a minority group.
The Haitian group is causing problems.
Wait, but
They
those problem.
over there.
No,
That's real.
no,
Yes,
no, it
yes,
isn't.
Yes, it is. It's true. It's real.
No, it's not real.
But dude, you have black people coming out and literally saying like this is fucking real. Like,
You have more than black people coming out, and then there was that one guy that retracted his statement and saying, oh yeah, it's not true. And a lot of those statements, it's like, okay, well, yeah, that's a lot of statements. That is some evidence. Okay, can we now bring up some actual cat remains? Can we have an investigation into this? And you have like what the mayor of Springfield saying, no, this shit isn't happening. It's like, okay, well, what the fuck is happening? Can we have some investigation?
Actually, at this point in time, I will say this: like, there's a lot of manipulation going on, and it's intended to confuse people at this point. Like, you have one side saying this is true, you have a lot of people coming out saying like this is what's going on. You have evidence coming out like showing like this is what's going on, and then you have other people that are supposed to be like trustworthy people saying this isn't going on. You know, people backtracking on statements, you know, things like that. Like it's just designed to be very confusing at this point.
I don't think it's designed to be confusing at all. I think there is a general conflict where people believe one thing is actually happening, and another people are saying no, this didn't happen. They don't think it's happening. They don't think there's good enough evidence. I don't think there's like a puppet master deciding. I think people genuinely, it's like me and you. It's like it's like you genuinely believe it's happening. I just think no, I don't think it is happening. I think the evidence threshold needs to be a lot higher for these claims to be being made with such veracity, especially for a whole community.
I mean, I guess, but that doesn't change the fact that like there are immigrants coming over here, like causing a lot of problems, like Venezuelans, for example, gang activity, things like that. I mean, just adding on to the.
Come on, MS-13's all right. I like MS-13.
I think you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy.
Is MS-13 even from Venezuela? I just said a random gang name.
They're Mexican. They're Mexican.
Oh, okay.
That's Mexico. That's the cartel.
Okay. Cartel gang, same thing, man. Don't know the difference.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. You're not wrong, but yeah, no, a lot of this shit is just, I don't know. I think it's a divide and conquer tactic, and then a way to emotionally manipulate people into behaving a certain way.
To what way, though? Like, what do they want us to do? Do they just want us to be divided?
They want us to be divided. They want us to be impulsive. They want us to think emotionally. They want us to be subservient. You know, all sorts of things like that. And
but not really being subservient, though.
I mean, going back to the like
because let's say like with COVID, right? It's like if you don't believe in the vaccine, right? Like let's say like people are dividing. Like, let's say somebody's trying to divide us by, like injecting, different information about COVID. And now you have like a subsection of the population that doesn't, that distrusts the vaccine. It's like, well, those people aren't obedient. They're quite literally going against, the government narrative, and, they're rebelling against what they think is, something that is unjust and ineffective.
Do you see the propaganda like for these people? Like, it really caused like a divide.
It caused a divide, but now they're not being obedient. They're quite literally uncontrolled.
Well, yeah, because there's always going to be like one group of people that isn't going to fall for it.
So what I say is that with the Springfield shit, I really don't think that I think the polarization is really negative for if you do want people to be, obedient, because it's causing subsections of people to be like, no, I don't trust the narrative. I'm going to, alternate sources. And so now they're, I guess being rebellious to, the people that you're meant to trust, like, let's say like the mayor or just other government institutions that exist, like the police or anything like that. They're going to like alternate sources. It's like, no, actually, I believe, what, XYZ person says. That seems to be having the opposite effect. I think a lot of people are, breaking away and becoming less obedient.
Fuck. Are you vape again?
He may have
Yeah, sorry,
disconnected.
no, I'm still here. I'm vaping right now.
Oh, okay,
Vape
you
on
are,
life
yeah.
support, dude. Vape on life support. You already know.
Bro, wait, Fleur. Were you
Yeah,
watching the
what?
G2 game earlier?
G2 versus Navi?
Yeah.
I only watched some of it, I fell asleep.
Bro, there
You
was
gotten
one part of the
flirting
game where
competitive
I got...
Counter-Strike?
What'd you
What?
say?
Have you gotten
What?
flirting competitive Counter-Strike?
No.
No,
No, I just mean like watching it.
no, I watch competitive Counter-Strike like on and off since 2015.
Oh, that's actually
Yeah,
fair.
he was, yeah.
I've
But
always had a respect for this game, but I've never played it. I've never been interested in playing it.
I was gonna say, dude, did you see what happened with Monazi earlier? He was in a 1v2, and then, like, he accidentally shot the op and fucked up, like, he misclicked, and then he, like, jumped out and died.
No, I didn't see
And I
that.
was just like, oh, man, that fucking sucks. And then the caster tried making up some bullshit to, like, save his skin. He was like, oh, did you see what he tried doing there? I pulled it up because it was so funny. I want to show you. Because, like, at first, when it first happened, I thought he was doing it too, but, like, he just jumped out with his knife out, so, like, you could tell he fucked up.
Smoke the bomb. Fake tap.
It's planted for this side, though. It's so open. Even with the smoke up there, they have an HE as well on bits, and you've got the AWP. I just don't think it makes a difference, even if he smokes it. I'm sure he will give it a try here.
Like, he,
Pulls out the shot,
I think he
able
was
to
trying
go
to
down.
pull out a
Nice
smoke and
triple.
throw it,
It's-
and then he just shot the op on accident. Like, he just fucked up. But listen to what the
Close
caster
spot
says.
It's not enough. That was a 5-on-3.
You see what he tried there? Firing off an AWP shot, like instantly picking up the AK-47, hoping it would bait them
Yeah.
out and he could give it a go.
Yeah,
Wow,
I was like, bro, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
didn't-
Like,
that
he
didn't-
did
that
not
didn't
use
look
the
like-
AK.
I just don't think it makes a difference, even if he smokes it. I'm sure he
Pull
will
out his
give it a try
knife,
here.
like...
Puts out the shot.
Oh
hit
wait,
triple.
actually, I could totally see what he's talking about. Maybe he tried to get the
I
AK
did
off the
too, 'cause, like,
body.
that's what I thought he was trying at first, but then he just pulls out his knife. So, like... Because, like, when I first saw this live, I'm like, oh, there's no way. Like, he's so fucking smart for that. And then he just pulls out the
Even with
knife,
smoke
and I'm
up
like,
there,
oh
they
my
have
god,
an HE as
no, he
well
just
on
fucked up.
bits, and you've got the AWP. I just don't think it makes a difference, even if he smokes it.
Yeah, because he did aim at the floor. That could totally be a smoke. I could
Yeah,
totally
that's
see
what I was
that.
thinking. That's what I was... It's like, after, I was like, yeah, he looked like he was trying to pull out a smoke.
Right.
But yeah, I just thought that was so funny, the caster.
You know what's really interesting about esports? I was thinking about that because I was like, I've always just watched the esports I give a fuck about. Like CS. I've watched a lot of fighting games too. I only recently just started playing them. Like for the most part, I just watch them, and finding out that let's say like League of Legends, right? Like League of Legends is like a really popular esport, and it's like one of those global esports where you see everyone from like, you know, most countries or like most regions participating. What I find really strange is that nowadays it's like the esports there'll be esports for the most random games that I'm like, is this really a game that has like competitive integrity? By competitive integrity, I mean like something that's been like crafted to become like a competitive game. Because if you look at CS, like from its beginning, it's like something that like people like playing, and then when it, you know, when it's become competitive, this is like a really like basic what do you call it, telling of history, but it's like people made their own rule sets, and you know, like back in the day, you actually used to be MR12 and then they opted to MR15. You know, that like people were finding like the community was basically making what they thought would be a competitive game. They were choosing maps that they thought were going to be competitive. It was like very grassroots and curated specifically to be competitive. It wasn't like, okay, you know, a games dev company is trying to like kickstart a competitive scene, so they're making, you know, competition based on, you know, what they think is, you know, should be the competitive standard, right? And now, you know, a lot of games will just be, it won't be grassroots at all, and it will just be like random phone game that has like a really big player base, now has an esports. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is a competitive game?
Yeah, it's crazy. There's apparently, I just found out about this today, but Sarah was telling me about it. There's this game called Crossfire that's like super popular in China. Apparently, it's like the most played FPS game.
It's like a CS.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. I think either Foreign or Richard Lewis said something about Crossfire. I think it was Foreign. I think he was talking about he has this like he says he would love if like Korea really like integrated CS into their like infrastructure, where it's like, okay, we're gonna play this game and like really get good at it, because he believes like Koreans would be like the best at any game. Like they have like a very specific cultural outlook and work ethic that any esports games that have become really big in Korea, they've also just dominated. And that I actually am very curious. Korea, like I wish there was more Asian representation from what you call it for CS, because you really don't see it. It doesn't exist. Let this Crossfire game disappear. Let's get you on CS. Want to see what you can do on Inferno, not on fucking like Nuketown Fake Edition or something. Like, what the fuck? And play some real maps. That'd be really fucking dope. Yeah, I think Foreign was saying like he thinks League of Legends is like the worst timeline for MOBAs. There was another game called like Heroes of the Night or something, and there was another one. Dota 2 is like still that game is still popping, but League of Legends becoming the biggest MOBA is like really unfortunate because it's the shittest one, he says. Wow, and he also doesn't like in terms of gameplay mechanics. I can't specifically. I don't know MOBAs enough to know. I'll be back. But it's simplified. Oh, okay. It's more of a simplified MOBA. But he says he watches the game and likes it. Likes the fact that it's an international game, like truly international game, where you have way more regions participating in high level competition in League of Legends than you do like CS, where it's like very European dominated. And there's also NA that pops its head around, but it's nowhere near as dominant. And then Brazil occasionally, it's like, okay, they become really fucking good. There's actually a lot of players in Brazilian CS, but it's only Brazil, really, for the most part, that has like a really strong scene. And so I think I could totally see, I could totally see the appeal of League of Legends just from like the fact that everyone participates, because you get this infusions of just a bunch of different cultures and their philosophies at playing video games. Because NA and EU is like, they've been pretty distinct in terms of, like what their culture is like, how it diffuses into CS, where a lot of NA is like a lot more aggressive. They'll go for more of the ballsy players, but they also don't have like the crazy work ethic as like a lot of the EU countries do. And when they play CS, it's really interesting to see these like cultural clashes in the game and seeing how how their personality and cultural profile diffuses into like the matches and storylines. I like that a lot. Come on, we need to get more. I can't believe there's a Mongolian team. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy because Swedish CS was basically dominant for like all of 1.6. Those were always like really solid Swedish teams. And then the beginning of CS, you had NIP, they had their era, and then you had Fnatic in 2015. They dominated, 3 major wins in a row. But then after that, Swedish CS is like, where are you? Like, where are your top teams? French CS has been something that's always been big too, since like CS Source. Oh, you know what's really interesting? Back when the back in the 1.6 days, when Source was out and you had like a Source scene and a 1.6 scene, and I think at one point they like one of the major tournaments that does like multiple esports games did a Source tournament instead of a 1.6 tournament. and like 1.6 players were losing their fucking minds. And apparently, a 1.6 team actually went and played Source, and I think they may have like beaten Source teams, which is pretty wild. That's like a really that's like if I guess it's like no end. It's not even really close of a comparison, but imagine if like a CS team went and played Valorant. You know, like let's say like, oh, you know, the next major, oh, we're not doing a CS, we're not doing CS. It's not a CS major. It's actually Valorant. And so the CS players get mad and start playing Valorant. That'd be really funny if they actually fuck up Valorant teams. But that game's too different from like an actual skill transfer. That's not happening.
Yeah, no. I mean, maybe they could learn it quick. Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah, that reminds me of like, yeah, if it's like something that they have, you know, like months of preparation, like a month of preparation, yeah, I could see something like that happening. I was thinking because this is like the same. This is like a question that gets proposed where it's like, oh, this general versus this other general from like a different period in history. So like, let's say like Julius Caesar versus Napoleon, and it's like who would win the war? Well, it's like we know who would win the battle. Like Napoleon just has, you know, way better what do you call it? He has way better technology at his side, and he has the hindsight of history to go off of. Whereas Julius Caesar, okay, you know, he doesn't have the technology. But in a war, you know, wars aren't won in one battle usually. So in a war, when he can acquire this technology, you know, how fast is he able to integrate, you know, new technology, and how fast is he able to adapt his army to, you know, meet the demands of what Napoleon's going to be using, you know. If you get, you know, if it's a battle, Napoleon wins. If it's a war, you know, who the fuck knows? The same with the Valorant question. It's more like the two sides are, you know, if they just went into a Valorant game right now, no prep, yeah, they're probably losing like easily. They don't know the tactics, they don't know the maps, they don't know the spots, and they don't know like the full utilization of the abilities. But if you give them months of preparation, I don't know, man. You could see something happen that's interesting. Especially since Valorant is pretty young.
Yeah.
It's not a game like CS. And it's not a game that invites the same skill ceiling as CS. Like the recoil patterns aren't fucking insane in that game. Games like Lego, it's just CS Lego. Come on. Oh, first chat message, cheap viewers
just
on.
have to learn the metas, but like CS, you have to learn so much. You have to learn how the angles work and like a bunch of different angles specific to each map. There's just so much with this game. Like you have to learn how they work, how to play them. I'm not sure Valorant's that detailed of a game in terms of like just the small things. Because if it's not, like, it probably would take a lot less time than CS does to learn.
They just got fucking raped. That round ended before it even started.
You watching the new game?
I'm watching Liquid versus Vitality.
Yeah.
Liquid got a lot of CT side round.
Yeah, I was watching the Anubis game in overtime. I didn't see how it ended yet, though.
Alright.
I've ended up finishing out the Spirit game on Mirage. Man, I want to play right now, but I just can't because this fucking internet shit.
What'd you say? Oh, you want to play, but your internet shit? Yeah, I didn't. I heard everything he said. I didn't quite comprehend it instantly.
Gotcha.
Free viewers. But I just got recommended a Valorant video. The future of esports in 20. Oh, it's not Valorant videos. Future of esports in 2025. I told you inviting Dank would just be way more interesting.
Bro, you lagged out as soon as you said that. What'd you say?
I said, I told you inviting Dank is just going to be way more interesting. The conversations you're able to have with him are just a little bit different to what you usually talk with the other guys with, like EXE and all them. Because if you're just from a different side of the, what'd you call it? Just from like a, I mean, he's not like from a different part of the world, but I'm saying like his interests are a little bit different.
Yeah.
And I value people that, you know what I mean? Like, we can't have too many of the same people in here. It's like, what, we've got like 3 Galactic clones now, or 2 Galactic clones,
Who's
plus
the other
Galactic
one?
himself.
Crocs?
Rick Rocks, yeah. Like, gif spamming in the chat, very cliquey, not very like upfront individual. I'm not a big fan of cliquey behavior. I've always been one of those people that's just like, if you want to talk to me, you can do it. I'm very free and available. They could have get marked on T-side nuke. What makes Office a shit map?
What'd you say?
I said, what makes Office a shit map?
I don't really know that much about it. It's just retardedly laid out. And, like the way the gloss works and stuff. It's just weird. It's a weird map. And I think it's, for me, it's the community. Like, people fucking, I don't know how there's such a big fan base for the map. It's just weird.
Hmm.
They think it's better than the normal game somehow.
Oh yeah, I can understand that. When communities that deep throat, yeah, you need to be careful of that. Where a community will make you, you know, be suspicious or even dislike whatever that cliquey community is like deep throating.
Yeah, and also there's like problems with it that I think are kind of weird, like the T side being swapped with the CT side. It just makes the economy whack. And the weapon, because like normally T side, you get like advantages that the CTs don't have to make it more fair, since generally maps are more CT sided. So you know you have the AK that can one-shot kill. You have Molotovs that are slightly better than the CT Molotovs, because of the spread. You have like all types of advantages, and the economy is more manageable. It's harder to
You don't
buy
have to
properly
buy
on
a
the CT
kit.
side. Yeah, you don't have to buy kit. The AK is cheaper. Everything's just cheaper. The Molotovs are cheaper, and it's more manageable. But the sides are swapped, so you have like all these advantages on the T side, and the CTs have the same disadvantages still with the economy and stuff. So it's just kind of weird. I don't know. and it's a really close quarters map. So shotguns, it's like a shotgun meta map, and you know, I don't think CS should be. Like
Yeah,
that.
the economy isn't made for shotgun metas, obviously.
Yeah, no. So yeah, I just think it's like horribly laid out and stuff, too. It's just not a map I would really enjoy playing if it was in the map pool. There's not. I don't want to say that. I was gonna say there's like not much like interesting details in it, but I don't really know.
YouTube really needs to fix 1080p. I say fix, but it's always been like this. 1080p. So, back in the day, right? A lot of Minecraft players were like the first like gaming community to start doing this. We'd upload our videos in 1440p because there's two encoders that YouTube uses. There's like AVC like 1.4, 1.6, whatever the fuck, and there's VP9. VP9 looks a lot better. You get a way better bitrate with this encoder. So with 1440p automatically puts the video on VP9. VP9 would only be activated after your video gets a certain number of views, or there was a trick to get it to auto put it on VP9 that like had you like abusing like how YouTube videos work, where you'd have to like go into editor mode or some bullshit like that to get the nicer bitrate. But the thing is, the 1080p videos still play at a lower bitrate for what for the resolution to look like very crisp. But 1440 is like the first resolution that I would even consider uploading at, because the videos look way crisper. So you always want to upload on 1440p on YouTube.
Did not know that at all. What the hell?
Right, but here's the problem: Google is running out of storage space, and so I don't understand why they would have. There's like there's an incentive to upload on 1440p on YouTube. And that costs a lot of money and a lot of storage space. So really what they should do is instead they've made a premium feature to up the bitrate on 1080p. Instead, I think they should flip it. I think 1080p, there should be higher bitrate options. If your internet can, like, you know, it can just detect, you know, if your internet is, you know, if it's sending, you know, data well, I don't know, there's probably some fucking way to do that. If it's sending data well, it would just put you on the higher bitrate option so it looks really crisp, but on 1080p, so they use less server space, and then make like 4K videos which take a lot of fucking space. They make that a premium option instead. I think that's just more worth it for them. Like, if you want to upload videos at 4K, you have to pay. I would rather have it like that.
So Google's running out of storage space?
Yeah, they started, if your Gmail's like inactive, they'll start deleting your emails, and it was only like 2 years inactive, which is not good at all.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
some of mine probably got deleted then.
Right, so if you've just got alternate accounts that you just don't use, yeah, say bye-bye to your mail. So that's why I say it's like you need to efficiently use your. There's like more efficient ways to use your space, and I think one of those is just like, why is 4K just available for like random shit to upload? That's fucking stupid. That's a waste of space. 1440, I think 1440 can stay. I don't know. They can make the decisions. They have the data. They have the stats. But 4K should definitely go. I don't think there's a reason for 4K to be. You shouldn't be able to just upload 4K videos like that. Like, make you pay for that, and then make the 1080p premium option available to everyone, because there are older videos where before people knew about VP9 that just play at a shit bit rate, and you can see like the what you call it, the artifacts on the screen, and it's just like, fuck. I remember for a long time, my videos would look like shit on YouTube, and I had no idea why. They would look shit. This was like 2014 all the way through 2016. I just could never find the right render settings to make my videos look good. And it sucks now that I've got some of those videos that look like shit on YouTube, because I can't do anything about that. I don't even have those videos on my hard drive anymore that I can upload on 1440p. So they just look like shit still, and it would just be nice for like some legacy that we can now watch YouTube videos, my old YouTube videos in like a really nice clean bitrate. That'd be real fucking sick. And it would save them space. Helps you, helps me. My old videos don't even really look that bad. The 720p ones look like shit though. But I'm glad, that was like one reason why I was glad to be part of the Minecraft community, because they found out about that shit really before anyone else did. At least in the gaming side.
Don't know, I never heard of that.
Yeah. So I always watch videos on 1440 despite not having a 1440p monitor. Always.
Man, I miss old CSGO bot names. That's like one thing in the change that I hate. The bot names are just so much less fun.
What were the old bot names like?
They were just funny. I don't know why. Like, they were just so much more funny. Like, bot OP. They had more personality to them. I don't know. The new ones are just like boring. Like bot fucking. I don't know. Let me look up like the old list names. Can't find them, bro. Okay, I literally can't find like a list of the bot names, but they just had more personality. They were just more interesting. And the new ones are just kind of stupid. They're just like bot Tony.
I just miss the old sounds. If anything, they need to bring that back.
Yeah, which like how old?
I think like, I think sometime in 2016 they changed the sounds.
Oh, you mean that far back? Yeah, like the M4 and shit, and the AK sounded, and the op sounded different.
I prefer the AWP just sounded so nice. The lightning crack, or the thunder crack even.
Yeah, man, it was fucking scary back then. I like it now though.
I think it ruins the place for me. What we're just hearing like Cold Zero's AWP on that Mirage comeback. There's something so menacing about it.
And I just want them to bring Cash and Train back.
Big train back.
You don't want Cash?
Yeah, Cash is cool too.
Cash is dope. Cash is like top 3 favorite map for me, probably.
Um, it's just that they'll have to take. I do want some of the new, maybe Ancient. Maybe they can fuck off of Ancient.
They can
but
get rid of Ancient and Anubis. Fuck those 2 maps.
let's see Anubis get some more. Have some more playtime. Yeah, Ancient can go.
Yeah, definitely. I don't care for either of the maps. I like Ancient more than Anubis playing it, but yeah, they're like my least favorites. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'd like Anubis more if I played it more, but I just never have fun on the map. I don't know. Oh, I just remembered one of the bot names, Bot Ferris. Like, I don't know why. They felt like people to me. I don't know why. There's like clips attached to them and stuff, too. Who's Mike Pence? Oh, why is that his name? What?
Oh, is he saying that you tried to steal? He's making a reference to politics. He's saying that you tried to to steal the vote. So he's saying that he's Mike Pence. Basically, Mike Trump wanted Mike Pence to not certify the vote, or delay the certification of the vote, and then Mike Pence was like, no, there is no like this is like a fringe legal theory. Like, there's no way I can possibly do this. And so he's like, no, I'm gonna certify the vote. Like, this is what the people chose. And this is like January 6th shit.
Funny. I don't know why he's trying to make that narrative anyway, but that's just
yeah, I know. It's like not even. This is like not even the same thing.
It's like really cringe, to be honest.
Vote wasn't fair as far as I know. If he wants a revote, he can join in and, you know, discuss parameters. If you want a revote, like, all right, let's make this fair. And honestly,
you cut out what?
I said he can join if he wants a revote. He can join VC and discuss parameters.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like, there's like arguments to be had for a revote. Like, yeah, we shouldn't count certain people's votes, but when you look at it, it's bro. Like the vote, if the vote's the same, it's sucker, as far as I'm aware. Like, Those are the only irrelevant people in the vote, and they both voted for different sides, so it's the same vote. Like, that's how I'm looking at it. It's a pointless revote to me.
People might even
And
change their
they're
minds
trying to,
anyway.
yeah, I mean, and they're trying to say that like Twizzy shouldn't have a vote. Like, why? He's literally been in the server for longer than like most people in here. He's been in the
Well, if
server
Twizzy
since
don't
like
get a
the
vote,
start, pretty
then
much.
if Twizzy doesn't get a vote, then no, that's
Neither does
also near that.
Recrox, for sure.
Oh yeah, Recrox and then there too. They're out the
You don't
picture.
think you should have a vote?
How often does he join VC? That's the question. That's the same with Twizzy, right? Like if they want Twizzy
Yeah.
out, then it gets the same treatment. It's just only fair.
Yeah, true. I mean, I've talked to both of them about the same amount the past month. I think Nier and Twizzy, like, so that makes sense. But they're both active. Like, them trying to pretend like Twizzy's not active is stupid as hell, especially when Recrox is voting. Like, bro, I've talked to Twizzy more the past month than I have to Recrox ever.
Oh yeah.
Total. Like, the only memory I have of talking to Recrox was back in like December when we were watching a CS:GO game together. Oh, it was like an ancient game that went to overtime. I think it was like Team Spirit and someone, but that's the only time I remember talking to Recrox. Like, really. I mean, he joins VC every now and then, but it's like
Mute
not
and
that
then
much.
to leave.
Yeah, mute, yeah.
Or to join
Or
a
to
different
join-
VC.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, yeah.
You don't get say, my brother.
So, yeah, I just don't know why they didn't even say anything about Recrox. I mean, the only reason Recrox went dank in the server is because, like, the shit he was doing in general chat anyway, but it's like, man, you can just block him, you know? Like, why would I keep us from talking to someone we want to talk to just so that this guy can not get annoyed by dank in general chat once a month, you know? Like, you can literally just block him.
This guy in my chat says Donald Trump is live on Twitch. Is he? I always see him in my recommending.
What?
This is the orange name in my chat. I'm just watching my Minecraft videos back.
What the Sigma?
Yo.
I'm back. Where's Fleur at?
I'm here.
Ah,
Just watching my Minecraft videos back.
Bro,
very quiet VC.
you remember Sigma Fang?
No. Oh.
Wait, what was that?
He just reminded me of that guy Sigma Fang. You remember him?
Sigma thing. Hardly.
Sigma Fang. The guy we played CS with.
Oh.
He was like really bad.
Yeah.
No, I remember
So-
Dart Right more.
What'd you say, Floyd?
I said I remember Dart Right more.
I don't even remember that, like, where we found that guy. I think he was just a random in one of our games.
I remember tapping into Fortnite way more.
Really?
Yeah, way more than fucking Counter-Strike.
Bro, we had like a whole month of a phase of CS. We had like a week of a phase of Fortnite.
Really? No, Fortnite went on for like a month. I swear.
Oh, well, oh, you mean OG Fortnite.
That-
I'm thinking
yeah,
like
OG
this
Fortnite.
year. I'm thinking this year. No, yeah.
OG.
No, we
Wait.
still played CS more than that, than Fortnite.
OG Fortnite? What do you mean by that?
The OG shit, when they brought OG,
Okay.
quote unquote OG Fortnite. Like,
Yeah. AKA season 5 through like 9 or something like that.
yeah.
Season 5's based.
Season 5 was mid.
Season
so.
5 was the start of the fall off.
Season 4 was. What do you mean? Season 4 was ass. That's when they brought on that big ass crater. For Dusty.
Oh my god, that's when I stopped playing the game.
Yeah, that was when it got shit.
Yeah, when
Season
I
5
think
was
of
just
OG
a continuation of Season 4. Like, it was slightly better than Season 4, but like, not much.
when I think about OG Fortnite, I'm thinking about like Season 2 with like Black Knight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
same.
Season 0.
John Wick.
Yeah.
Too.
John Wick is when it got mainstream. That's when the game really started being like that.
Oh, Season 3, right?
Yeah. And then it got a mobile game on Season 4. I remember that shit. Playing at school, man, that was crazy. That was like game breaking because we had no good mobile games back then that were like actually like games we played on our like PlayStations and stuff.
You know. And then there's COD Mobile and all that shit now.
Yeah, dude, man, people at school have it way better now.
Better? That's way worse. The fuck? I'm never playing games at school on my phone. Bring it in most of the time.
Minecraft was the one. That was like the really good game that we did have, like, always.
I know people play like Clash Royale.
Oh yeah, well that's when that's like later. Yeah, it was like 2016. Clash
Really, it was way. I remember Clash of Clans. That's it. Fuck. Clash of Clans is people play. I do remember Clash Royale though, but yeah, that was later. Clash of Clans. Fucking hell.
Yeah. I used to play.
How long is this video? 4 minutes?
Not that much though. I never spent money on those games. I don't think. People that spend money on those games, fucking hell, man.
Yo,
that's a wild.
This is the dumbest shit ever. I swear to God. I'm like, it's literally.
Yeah, I hate shit like that.
Because you're gonna get fucking rated by like the time you get like.
Also, why did you think? You remember like a few months ago, you were telling me they added emotes to CS. What the fuck were you on when you said that?
Probably me.
Because I thought you were being dead ass, but like, no, that was bullshit.
No, I thought they did. Or
they
something.
did not. They did not.
Dude, that's. Imagine.
I don't remember. I think I might have been either I saw a troll post and a troll post.
You saw a troll post.
Or like maybe I remember because I genuinely don't remember the context.
You just told me, and like we were talking about it, and you were talking about how much worse CS2 is than CS:GO, and I was just like, it's not as bad as you think. And then you were like, bro, they're literally adding emotes, and I'm like, what? There's no way.
I don't remember. I really don't remember. You have to understand, Tricky. So much has happened to me, like since like July to like September. Like, I don't
These emotes, man.
Yeah, right. I guess I don't remember like anything. All I like remember is just like complete frustration. Feeling like
complete.
Like no, imagine losing your job, fucking losing your.
No, I was just laughing because like you're like complete.
Oh yeah, cause this shit.
Yeah.
No, trust me. Like, the last thing I thought about is like any like video game shit or like any conversation I've had with anybody. It's all out the window right now. I promise. I don't remember.
This clip is wild.
Which clip?
This Minecraft clip. Hold on, let me put it back on. Are you watching my stream or do I need to share screen?
You need to share screen.
Alright. See it?
Yeah. Damn.
Almost died, bro. I set myself on fire accidentally.
And the only thing you were missing was the EXE overlay. Honestly.
This guy was cheating. You can't see because I fought him close quarters. That might sick like that.
Might have been me. this game anymore for you?
I haven't played in years. I'll get like on once a year and play for a few days and then just never play again until the next year.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Not what it used to be.
Is the community still a thing? Like,
Well, like the
same people?
PvP, no, like the PvP community is like pretty much dead because we played on 1.7 and now they're like 1.22 or something.
Yeah, that's Oscar Otter, dude. No way. Oscar's in your chat. It's huge. He asked, Nosh, told me you got the bacon camo. Can you send it to me, bro? Please, bro. Please.
The what camo?
Bacon camo.
Bacon camo.
The BO2
they're
one?
obsessed with that.
The BO2 one?
I have no idea. You have to ask Oscar.
That's something you got bacon camo. I think I've got it in one of my packs. But he's like,
Said hi to him in chat. That's it.
he's obsessed with this bacon camo, this Nosh guy.
I'm obsessed with Oscar Otter, dude. I'm the real Oscar Otter #1 super fan. Like,
Yeah. And Minecraft's one game that. Fuck, why did Mojang have to fuck that game up? Just keep like the combat the same. Yeah, after well 1.8 was fucked up. Like people hated 1.8 for PvP. It was 1.7. People loved 1.7 because they added the sprint button into Minecraft. Before people would use like mods and sometimes would be bannable on some servers or not. So it's like sort of like a unification of the communities, and they also added binds for multiple things that used to be for like really bad keys. So we used to call F5ing, which is like looking behind you. You could like bind that to like Q or something, which I bound it to Q, which is really nice. Made PvP really smooth because after you hit somebody and you only double tap sprinting, you lose your sprint. So the games were a lot longer. I mean, it had more skill, but it was just not fun. It was nowhere near as fun to play. It's just like being able to hold sprint. It makes the game a lot more fast paced. After you hit someone, you're always sprinting because you're always holding the sprint button. There was also what else? But in 1.8, they kind of fucked up the hit detection. Like if you click above 10 CPS, or if you're jet clicking, this game has that the faster you click, you have an advantage because of you get more slowdown. And you want to take less knockback. That's an advantage. Because basically your hits come out of your head. So if you do if you're higher than someone, you have to hit someone lower than you from farther away than they have to. So it's an advantage to take less knockback. And then what else? Yeah, they fucked that up. They also changed the animation, so like when you hit someone, they turn red, even if they're wearing armor. They removed that. So there's like mods that basically fixed 1.8 for the most part. It's not like completely fixed, but for the most part, they did a good job of making it look like 1.7, and a lot of it was like aesthetic changes that people didn't like. It's like basically it's like making you have to play on left side gun. Is it left side gun? That's like the alternate way to play. Where like the default is right, like the gun's on the right side. Imagine if they just changed it for some reason to left side gun. You can change that. That'd be jarring for most people. People would fucking hate
For
that.
CS?
Yeah, for CS, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be weird as hell. Yeah.
And then maybe they like relocated hard elements, and then maybe they made it so like the game had less graphical fidelity, so it was like harder for you to like see if you actually hit someone or anything like that. Like, that's basically what 1.8 was.
Or like throw util in like certain places and like niche lineups.
They just fucked up a bunch of shit, basically aesthetic, and those aesthetic things were actually important for how you
Yeah, that's what I'm saying with like nade lineups.
right. But eventually people will find 1.8 off the mods that fixed it. People just play it on like Like originally it was like Labby mod, now it's like Luna client that everyone plays on. That was also but after 1.9, 1.9 completely changed how the combat works. So like this game was like you basically can hit 2 times in a second. And it does all full damage. In new Minecraft you can't do that. You have to stagger your hits to do more damage. So you have to like charge attack and do shit like that. So the combat's completely different. So it's not like your skill doesn't transfer at all. Maybe like movement. That's about it. And bow skills. That's like the only thing that's like the same as far as I know. So yeah, game's completely different, and basically a whole new community spawned in. Like no one from the old game really plays the new PvP. And I don't even know if the new PvP has like the same sort of like community, because like old PvP was big. There was like many different sides of the community, and it was really cool because we kind of got like an Avengers style. Like everyone sort of like came together to play the game. But like play like they played each other's games. There would be like one server that hosted like all the different game modes. Like Badline was basically like once that got big, like midway through 2015, there was like a lot of people that experimented with like different things. Like most people would just be like, if you're an SG player, you only played SG, you didn't know how to play any other kits. A lot of SG players moved to like build UHC. It was actually just called UHC, but the kit itself, like if you're playing practice, it's called build UHC. Which added like the rod, because rod is like a glitch. You can't rod people in normal Minecraft, like fishing rod them, but it counts as a hit. It doesn't do any damage, but it counts as a hit when you rod, so it's like used as like a parry mechanic. You can't do that in vanilla Minecraft, so you've basically got what you call it? You've basically this glitch that SG players used, and then because a bunch of them moved to UHC, which is another game mode that got adopted, and so it was like really cool to see like not only like people playing these different kits and bringing like their philosophy into the game and improving that game mode, but also it was just fun to experience the game modes myself, because I was an SG player and I've played a bit of UHC. I played more pot though. It's a different game mode. That was really fun. That was the Avengers Endgame, or the co-op collaboration is. I want to see. Was Blast over?
Yeah, I think the Liquid game was the last one.
Oh, I didn't even see who won. That's unfortunate. Streaming. Do I do wish Minecraft was still around, but
Do you think you would like play it?
occasionally.
Still?
It's like one of those games where I can just hop in and it's like very quick. Gratification. That gratification comes really quickly because of the nature of the game.
Do restarts and shit.
Yeah, there's like no restarts. Like you can just hop in and play practice, which is like kind of become like the last surviving game mode, probably because it is just really, you can just hop in and play. Some of the game modes like were really long, so you hold on, let me show you some of them. Fuck, I remember. I should show you some like UHC highlights. Hold on, I'm gonna go and get a drink because I've been like, my mouth has been starving. I've been thirsty. There we go. Kawadi to be thirsty. Is it Kawadi?
Sounds like you belong in the other VC right now.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Japanglish.
Japanglish, yeah. Apart from I actually have the vocab they've been learning for like 2 days. Oh, not well, not Galactic. Galactic like kind of quit. You've been learning for him a few months and didn't have the discipline to continue. I'll hopefully starts it back up because starting something and not going through it is it sucks.
Sounds like
But
you didn't have the discipline to continue.
I do it every day.
Ah.
What the fuck? Like you want to see? Right, hold on. Let me pull up my own key. You can see my I think I've only missed 13 days since I started in June 30th, which basically is July. Let me
And
share
guess
my
what?
screen.
I haven't missed a single day of the Bible, okay? Every day.
That's
Yeah, I'm on a
is it
30-something
show?
day streak right now too.
Hold on, I don't think it shows up. I have to change it to the full screen window. And Windows.
Others will sit here learning a dying language, but they won't learn
Here we go.
the message of the Lord.
Yeah.
20. Today's the 26th. I haven't done it yet. I need to kill this. I got.
Dude, it's so laggy. Holy shit. Or not laggy. I can hear myself. Yeah,
Oh
you hear
yeah, it's
yourself?
because I'm sharing my. I just made the stream. I don't need to hear anything. So I missed the 18th, the 10th, the 1st. Missed 3 days this month. Then I missed 2 in August. And then I missed quite a few in July.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Dink, I would learn the message of the Lord if he showed himself. Just saying.
I'm gonna go and get a drink.
Probably would, dude. You gotta ask. Have you ever prayed and asked the Lord to show himself?
Have you?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
That's cab.
It's not cab.
How did he show himself?
I actually met Jesus. It was wild. He has the most insanely beautiful eyes, turkeys.
So,
Like I'm not even lying.
So, you're saying that I should learn this why?
Huh?
You're saying I should learn this why?
What do you mean learn what? Why?
The message of the Lord.
To live a happy and successful life?
Why do I need to learn the message of the Lord to do that?
Because it's the way. Like you should follow him because it is the way to live, because the secular life is actually very damaging to people. I think about it.
I mean, what about other religions?
What do you mean?
Because I know a lot of religious people that are not living good lives.
Okay, well, I mean, the whole idea is that people aren't perfect. Everybody's a sinner. Do you think I'm perfect? Because I'm not.
Yeah, I think you are.
That's insane. I'm not. I'm so far from perfect, Trickies. I hope you're joking with that statement.
I'm not.
Shut up, dude. You're trolling so hard right now. You're actually just trolling. Like, this is EXE moment. Okay, no, it's not an EXE moment, but listen, man. I think there's a lot of interesting psychology. I think there's a lot to learn that would help you out in life. There's a lot to learn about humans in the Bible. I think there's a lot of interesting.
Isn't it a little outdated though? I think
No,
it's.
I don't think it's
practical
outdated at
things to
all.
learn.
I think it's, if anything, it's more viable now than ever before. How would it be outdated?
In a lot of ways, it would be. I feel
Okay,
like.
well, how is it
But
outdated?
I'm not saying
Your
everything is outdated. I'm
Well,
sure
what do you
some
feel is
things still
outdated?
apply.
What do you
I don't
feel is
know.
outdated?
I'm just saying, wouldn't it be? Like I don't even know that much about it.
I mean, dude, do books throughout history like? Okay, all right, hold up. Because I mean, obviously the answer is yes.
I
But
mean, if you're saying like psychology, bro, like yeah, like something from 1950 would be outdated. Even something from 2010 could be outdated at this point. Like,
all right, but that's human understanding of psychology. We're talking about divine intervention.
what is that? What do you mean by that? Like, I know
Divine
what that means,
intervention.
but what do you mean by that?
Divine intervention. Do you not know what divine intervention means?
Yes, presence
mean,
of like another being, right? Like
A
a
higher
god.
power, yes.
Yeah.
Jesus was divine intervention. Do you know the story of
And
Jesus?
we're learning. So we're learning something that happened like 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
That's pretty
and
outdated to me.
okay.
There's nothing showing that that's even like true.
That's not entirely true, actually. The Ark of Noah remains have been found of that. There's evidence that shows that the Red Sea actually did part at one point. In the Shroud of Turin, the cloth that covered Jesus when he was crucified has embedded marks into the fabric of his existence. Like he was a real person. Jesus actually did
Yeah.
walk.
Well,
He was
yeah. I
real.
mean, maybe it's. I mean, it could be a story about someone similar, right? Like, there's no doubt about that. But like, I
What do you
don't
mean
even
it
know.
could be? What do you mean it could be?
Because like, there's a lot of stories that are based on people, like people that were real fictional stories that are based on people. So I don't know.
What's your
If what you're saying is true, I don't even know how. Like, is that even like good evidence? Like,
is what do you
I mean,
mean?
you're. Wait, what do you mean about what? What do I mean about what? Just because they found some like remains of something doesn't mean it was like everything was true. Might have been a
You do
totally different
realize that
person.
like no, you do realize that like a lot of historical scholars cross-reference each other. Like these people actually existed.
Wait, say that again. Cut out.
It can't be because there's a lot of cross-referencing. Like there are people who have never met that talk about these things that wrote books and they accurately line up. There's no this could have been about someone else. No, there are people who have never met in the Bible that wrote books
Never met
in
in
the
the
Bible
Bible?
about Jesus's
Saying they
existence.
never met in the Bible, but the proof is the Bible? What?
Trickies, do you not understand what I'm saying? I don't think you do.
Yeah,
There are people
you
who
said the
wrote
point of
stories. There are people who wrote stories about Jesus, and the people that wrote the stories never met, but they met Jesus.
how
And a
do
lot
you
of the
know?
cross-referencing.
Because if they met Jesus, they could have met too. How do we know
How do
that
you
they
know
didn't
Alexander the
meet?
Great existed? How do you know Alexander the Great existed?
Archaeological evidence that testify
There's
all the
archaeological evidence.
writings
There's archaeological evidence that fucking Jesus walked
that
this earth.
disprove
There's
about the
not
things in the Bible.
archaeological. There's
I
not
mean, wait,
archaeological
I'm pretty sure
existence
Jesus
that he
did
did like.
existed. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
Jesus
I'm
did
not
exist.
denying. I'm not denying that he
The
didn't exist.
Bible.
I'm just saying that it's not like what the stuff that happened in the Bible. Like, how the fuck can you prove that?
I've
Like,
no
I'm
idea.
saying it
I've
could have
not
been
read the
based on
history.
somebody. Could have been based on some
Yeah,
random person.
how do you prove that the Spartans actually killed 10,000 Persians?
I don't know. I've never read it.
Because that seems more. I mean, that's
Wait,
believable.
did it
It's a
even
war.
happen?
Is it
I don't
really
know.
believable? You know,
But
300
that's a good
people
point.
put
Like,
down
there's no
10,000
way to know.
people?
But it's not doubtable.
Well, there
We've
is a
seen
way to
war.
know, but
Like,
we've not
Okay,
read the
but
sources. We have
you
no
have
idea.
faith. You have faith that what you're reading about, you know, Spartan and the Persians is real, but you don't have faith that the Bible's real. Like, really?
Well, because I know that war can happen. Like, I know things. Is it someone doing all types of crazy fucking shit that no one's done in our lifetime is crazy. In fact, not just our lifetime, but like nowhere else ever recorded. Like,
Well,
yeah,
then
I
it's
don't
look
know.
at other religions.
Yeah, true. Actually, yeah, true.
So you
I
don't
mean,
think
that's not like the best metric to go off of in judging what's true, but
I mean,
I wouldn't say
like,
it's like the worst one.
interesting. If there
But
was, you know,
the problem with that is like if you're gonna be like, oh, other religions, like a Christian person's not gonna be like, well, other religions, right? Like, no, other religions conflict with each other, so
yeah, exactly.
that's not a
Other
good.
religions do conflict with each other, and I think there's a lot of evidence to prove why, you know, Islam is not the right way. Like, there's a reason
How
why I
about
won't ever follow
Buddhism?
about Buddhism. I don't know too much about it, so I can't like form an opinion on it. But
Islam is probably less true than Christianity. It came out later. That builds off the
sure-
foundation.
I'm sure there's like probably some accurate explanations of reality in Buddhism, but like I don't know enough about it to like be like, hey, like this is why I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I have personal experiences in Christianity to understand that I think this is the right way. I have faith that it is the right way. I have faith that the the Bible is a pretty accurate teaching of the reality that we live in. I mean, you gotta think about it like this: like nobody drops mushrooms or acid and like continues to stay atheist. Like everyone ends up spiritual. Like, have you noticed that?
That's true. I know, but I know atheists. Sam Harris is a massive proponent of psychedelics and to cure certain things, and he's like a really strong.
But I think statistically, like speaking, like a lot more people do than don't. You know what I'm saying?
Probably an indictment.
Point, though?
Huh?
Wait, what's the point you're making?
What do you mean? What's the point I'm making? Like, I'm sorry to kind of got like a little distracted. Like
you said a lot of people that use psychedelics are become spiritual in some sort of way.
I mean, I think it kind of proves that like there is a need for spiritual understanding of this planet, and I think
So you're saying to take psychedelics?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if a lot of people are becoming spiritual in some manner, don't you think that there has to be something more to it than, oh, this just can't be real? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like even animals are religious, like elephants.
Yeah, I can't speak to what elephants believe or.
I think
I don't know.
Funerals. They have funerals, and they have like they do the saying like to the moon. I don't remember exactly, but like they do some sort of ritual. Like there's
elephants do.
Yes. There's
well, I mean, dude, like just because elephants do it doesn't mean it's right. Like what? If this is true, like why would that prove anything?
There's an importance to spirituality, and there's a need for it in existence. I think that's what that points to.
Wait, are you trying to? I think Tricky's is misunderstanding you. Are you saying there's a need for it, not necessarily that it's true? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying for spirituality, yes. I think, me personally, I believe that the Christian way is the right way. Like, I think that is what is true.
Right.
I mean, that still doesn't make sense because elephants do it means that we should do it. Like,
no, Trickies, you're not understanding my point. My point being is that if humans feel a need to be spiritual, and then other species beyond humans feel a need to be spiritual, doesn't that point to evidence that there is something more than this, just the reality that we live in?
I don't think so.
Really? Why not?
I mean, there's a lot of similarities between animals and humans.
I don't think whatever. I don't think. For me, it's like if you're trying to find out truth, you need like a foundation of like, okay, what are you trying to look for? Replicatable methods. I don't think elephants are having this like cerebral analysis of the world and trying to find out what's true. I think it's cultures and customs that we sort of just pick up. Sort of like if you live in a religious household community, you're probably going to be religious. If you're atheist, if you're atheist, you probably had a lot of independence and just didn't live in a religious community. If you're Hindu, you probably lived in the Hindu community. I think a lot of people just pick up customs from each other. And as to why they create those customs, I have no idea. I don't know the foundations for a lot of these customs. I don't have the historical knowledge. I can tell you.
Well, yeah.
Well, you do realize that Christianity actually was originally Judaism.
Yeah.
Well, kind of. I mean, the Old Testament, the Torah, and then
New Testament is better.
Which is New Testament. The New Testament. Well, I mean, it still holds true to the Old Testament. Like, there are a lot of things that you need to be doing.
The Tower of Babel. That's a dope story. Where God comes down and he's like. I always had this story mistold to me. I had no idea what happened. I thought, and a lot of media has it like, oh, God comes down and strikes down the people. That's not actually what happened. They made it so they couldn't communicate. They couldn't communicate with each other, so they couldn't keep building the tower. That's a fucking sick story, by the way. There's a lot of morals in that.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, holy shit, it's actually been a while since I've learned about the Tower of Babel. But yes, I mean, quite literally, shit, why is this not working? Right. Where was I going, dude? I don't know. I got lost. I apologize.
Something about elephants.
Yeah, trolling. Oh, this is.
All I'm gonna say is, when you notice a lack of God in society, I think you've noticed a lot more societal decay. Would you agree or not?
It depends what you mean. You'd have to define societal decay.
Okay, marriage is failing. People getting ruined by single family, single mother households.
I mean, you can point out all types of problems in like modern society right now, but you can also do that for any other time period and point out things where religion was more prevalent and like
it's true as well.
Yeah, but the problems didn't stem from like not following religious customs necessarily, except in Germany.
What about Germany?
Nazi Germany.
Oh, okay. But I thought they were not religious explicitly.
Yeah, that was the whole reason why Nazi Germany came to power. Because people weren't religious, and then Hitler came.
I don't necessarily buy that. I don't necessarily think like, okay, lack of religion leads to people like Hitler coming into power, because there's many despots that have come into power under religion or completely unreligiously, but the community was religious. Maybe for someone like Hitler specifically, his ideals would have been boosted by people being more a-religious, but I still think Germany at that time was still probably religious. Probably most of society was probably religious. I don't think there was like, oh, it was like a super atheist society or anything like that.
I'm not saying like they probably like didn't believe or something like that, but like they were straying away from religious customs. Like ultimately is what I'm getting at. Because
they could have been straying away from religious customs, but still being really religious.
The greed that was going on was really bad. Also, no, you're.
I don't necessarily think. I just don't think necessarily religion is like gonna be like, it can just be a really good force for people and have good what you call it. It could be a good framework on how to live a good life, or it could like completely lead to like horrifying wars. 30 Years War had more deaths per capita than World War One. It was a horrifying war. 30 Years War was originally it started as Protestants versus Catholics in Holy Roman Empire, which is where Germany is today. There's a lot of atrocities that happened during that war, and it happened over a really long period of time, and Christians were fucking brutal to each other. And I don't necessarily think that Christianity is going to save you from the vices of man. I think man will use religion to live a really good faithful life, or they'll use religion to justify the worst deeds man can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say like you're wrong on that. I mean, yeah, it's not gonna ultimately like save people, but it definitely helps a lot, like for sure. Because when people fear, a higher power from fucking them over for behaving a certain way, and like, would you agree or would you disagree?
Oh, I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I completely agree.
We're seeing a lot of that issue now going on today. People don't like a higher power, and therefore they feel more free to do things that are ultimately really bad for society and people. They have no problem fucking over their neighbor. They have no problem doing dirty deeds and things like that.
I mean, those are just people that lack empathy anyway. Like, it's not. Religion doesn't just fully solve that problem. Religious people can do bad things still. 100%.
Of course, Tricky's. I'm not sitting here denying that. I'm not like, that's not what I'm saying. Like, obviously, it's going to still be a thing, but it definitely puts a huge grip on a lot of people willing to do something like that, because if they fear something, right? If they fear something higher, that might be the saving grace for some people.
Yeah, I could agree for sure.
And I don't think fear is necessarily a
But
bad thing.
if someone, I mean, if someone's even like wanting to do that anyway, it's not good. So
I know, but
you can eliminate
people
that
aren't
completely.
perfect. That's the whole point. Like nobody's flawless. But you have to try to strive and be a better person.
What Dank
That's
is
like
saying is that having some sort of framework where people have, a guide that, sets you boundaries, and that
No, I know
there's
what
a
he's saying.
god that enforces those through, how the fuck he enforces
Like
those.
karma, kind of. Yeah.
All the different ways are it's relevant to the discussion how he does it, but having that is like some sort of like discipline for people, or is acts as some sort of discipline onto people, which I can agree with, like in theory, definitely.
And that's kind of the way society's set up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, with like laws and everything.
Yeah, laws and like just people
Yeah,
with
but
more
do you
higher
notice
rank
that
than you.
a lot of people don't fear
school
like
boards and stuff.
authority, like
And
people
authority
fear
isn't
the
like
law.
everywhere in your life. It's like it's cheating on your husband, yeah, or cheating on your wife. Against any authority. Like maybe it can get your kids taken away from you, depending on what country, what state, what jurisdiction, whatever. But it's not really against the law. Like there is a lot of things that maybe people would fear, if they had maybe not the feelings of their spouse, but maybe actually God sending you to the shadow realm. Yeah, I mean, in theory, like, yeah, I completely agree.
It's not even that, but like the other thing too is that like people don't have faith in like things working out, right? Like, um, bringing up the marriage thing, for example, like women just like get like statistically speaking, like women initiate like 80% of divorces.
And
Which
why
leads
is
me,
that?
well, a lot of them don't fear the consequences that come from doing something like that. I mean, they think in the moment
Yeah, maybe the marriage is so bad right now. They're like, fuck, I need to get on out. I think there is a region. I think it takes two to work, and I don't think people frivolous. I can't say the word, but you know what I'm trying to say. Frivolously trying to leave the marriage. I just don't think like after 10 years you're together.
Women definitely do.
No, I don't think people do it frivolously. I think people are doing it because of reasons. I think there's probably reasons why people are leaving.
That they're getting attention. They're getting attention outside of the marriage, and they like that attention.
You have the most bad faith analysis of why women would leave a marriage. They're getting attention from someone else. They're like, oh, okay, let me go. Really?
Yes,
it doesn't.
No, seriously. I mean, you got to think about it like this. Like, how many like have you heard stories of like people being like in relationships for 5 or 6 years and they just all of a sudden like they have a new boyfriend like a week later, like they throw it all away for something else.
For relationships that I know a lot about, there's usually some problems. On the outside, I've seen plenty of relationships where it's like, oh, okay. But you'd have to know the ins and outs. You'd have to know the ins and outs of a relationship for no.
I don't disagree. But like, the thing is that I mean, and this also goes for men too. I'm not gonna just sit here and woman bash, but like,
no, men won't initiate divorce. I just fucking cheat. Let's be real here.
That's pretty true. I won't deny that. But I think both sides cheat, like for sure.
Oh, obviously.
Think about it like this. He who lusts after another has already committed adultery in the heart. I mean, dude.
I just heard that quote yesterday.
Out of your relationship, dude. Like, think about it. Like, come on now. Come on. It's technically, biblically speaking, it's already cheating. You're already adultering.
Damn, that must be hard.
So if your heart is not in the place that it needs to be, you're already technically cheating.
Tough. Going to heaven is like fitting through the head of a pin.
Wait, what?
I said going into heaven is like fitting through the head of a pin. There's so many things you have to do, right?
No. The only thing you have to do to enter heaven is to genuinely accept Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior, and to repent, to genuinely repent, and to try and strive to do better. That's literally it. That's all you have to do. Do you think someone who goes out and murders people constantly I mean, he may believe in Jesus, but do you think if he's just constantly going out and killing people?
What happens if he like genuinely repents after each murder? Like I genuinely repent, but then he just maybe he's like in the business.
It's not repenting. That's not repenting.
I really do truly believe that some people truly believe that they are sorry for something and then just go and fuck up again.
I mean,
but,
yeah, I don't disagree.
You know what? I probably side. I side with you a little bit more on that. Like I probably do. It's like, are you like genuinely serious? I don't mean like repenting as in like being sorry for something. It's like you probably have to put a little bit more effort into it. Exactly. It's like trying to stop smoking. You can't just say, okay, I just want to stop smoking. There has to be a plan. You know, what are you doing? What active measures are you taking? Yeah. That would probably be truly repentant. So yeah, I'll probably side with you way more on that one.
Like that's literally it. It's literally those two things you have to do, and that's it. But I mean, I think a lot of people are gonna have a hard time because people can't forgive. People are constantly making the same mistakes. And don't get me wrong, I've made the same mistake a couple of times when I shouldn't have, or I should have known better. It's not easy. No, like I think it's possible to like repent and fuck up again in a similar manner, the same manner. Like don't get me wrong, but like people that are genuinely repenting, they don't constantly go out and do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and then just ask for forgiveness. Like they genuinely try to make steps to do something better. And they may fail a few times, but you know what I'm saying. So, that's really it. But the reason why, like, and the quote you're saying, it's actually it's difficult for a rich man to.
The rich man, yeah, it's the rich man. It's about the rich man laughing at the old lady for donating like a little bit, which happens to be like a lot of her income, or most of her income, or all of her income. Yeah, I know, that's good.
Yeah, it's that quote is a little bit more specific, and it's just talking about how generally money corrupts, because again,
or even how to attain that money.
Yeah, part of it is how you had to attain the money. You had to, probably do a lot of immoral things, especially nowadays. Like to make a shit ton of money, like you're either like doing this shit for years and like thinking really long term, and you're doing it all the right ways, or like you're fucking people over. Like there's no in between. So I don't know. I think it's important. I think you should take a look, Truthies. I don't think you should deny it, and I don't think you should listen to the opinions of r/atheism calling Magic Sky Daddy like a joke, because I think a lot of people could benefit from religious teachings, even if they don't like fully become religious. I think there's a lot of important things in there that I think anyone could benefit from. I mean, me personally, I think you should take the Christ pill, but that's just me.
All right, preacher. How much are they paying you?
Man, I'm just saying. Dude, they don't pay me anything, dude. I do it out of the goodness of my heart because I want everybody to follow the same steps, and to make it into the heavenly kingdom. Nothing in it for me, dude. There's literally nothing in it for me.
It just reminded me of a Chinese kingdom called the Heavenly Kingdom, Lei Qing Dynasty.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Chinese history is so weird. Like, it's just like, all right, we had a time period of prosperity, and here's a bunch of war.
It's not like the history of everywhere.
I guess, but like, China just be going through it. I guess, or like.
I think Chinese history is really interesting because they have like, it's not even like if you compare it to Europe, right? Like basically like the concept of like the modern nation state came out of Europe, and it sort of like prevails like how we see like countries or anything like that. But China really isn't that at all. It's not really a country. Like a lot of the European countries are new, and they'll just like make countries like fairly frivolously. In China, it's like, oh, okay, it's like they see that one people group is like, it's like, oh, that's like we are like a civilizational state. Like the Chinese civilization like belongs in one state. They're not breaking off into different countries. It's like super interesting because Europe is nothing like that at all. Everyone sort of like found different ways to define themselves and then created states out of that. That's like a quite modern concept. Like ethnic states, drawing lines on ethnic backgrounds, because like the big old European empires were not like that. Like Holy Roman Empire were a lot bigger than what modern Germany is, or even like greater the first Germany in 1871. There's a lot more different backgrounds. But China's like, yeah, we're just having everyone in one country, and they'll just like convert them. It's like, oh yeah, you're Chinese now. Speak our language.
China's funny, dude. China's funny.
Especially if you look at like how small China started, like originally. It's like, damn, you guys are just all Chinese now. Like that whole place is just Chinese now. And also, why the fuck did they never figure out, you know, a syllabary or an alphabet? Because
I have no idea. The character set is the most cancerous thing I've ever seen come to a fucking language.
yeah, so stupid.
Like
yeah.
it surprises me because like if you don't know a character, like this is what always baffles me. Like if you see a character you don't know, like
How
the
the
only
fuck
way I've been able, yeah, how are you supposed to recognize it? Like how do you find the enunciation?
Yeah, how'd you find it in a dictionary? I mean, I actually do know how you would do that. It's radicals, and you just
Yeah.
But that's like way harder than like, oh, I just, you know, type it out. This is the way. This is how is China out of, you know, it's like, you know, they have many firsts, you know, first paper money, you know, first compass, you know, they have like many, you know, first achievements. But how the fuck did you never figure out, you know, how to do an alphabet?
I have no idea, dude.
That reminds me of like in South America, like they didn't have wheels. Like Incan Empire, like didn't have wheels, or like one of those like South American like Chilean empires had no wheels, and it's like, what the fuck? How did you guys not figure this out?
Yeah, man, fucking Chinese history's figured out fucking fireworks and like all this other shit, but you know, Lord forbid they figure out like a good fucking like language format. And I always thought the characters were cool until I actually started learning Chinese, and then I realized how fucking like cancer it is. And apparently, like a lot of Chinese people have a hard time, like you know, picking up on the language too. Like if they don't recognize a character, and they're just like, oh. So I think a lot of it is a lot more like contextual. Like their language is a lot more contextual based than.
Well, definitely because the tenses are nowhere near like how we have it. They'll like put a it'll either be contextual, or they'll just state like, instead of being like I will do. Well, actually, we kind of don't have a future tense to be fair, but we have like a past tense like did or do.
English has a future tense.
No, it doesn't. Not anything you conjugate in. Yeah, but that's not something you conjugate into. Like we have to use other words to make it into future tense. Like by putting will. Like there's no conjugation. Like you know how you have happened. You know we put ed at the end. There's no conjugation for the future.
I guess, but I mean, it still like makes sense. Like
yeah, it's not like a true future tense.
Well, happen can be future tense. I mean,
yeah, and that's contextual.
Happening is. No, I think
happening is what you call that? Continuous.
If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure happening is like considered a future tense word.
No, that's
yes,
continuous.
Happening,
something
happening,
that's currently happening,
yeah,
right? Like when you put ing at the end of a word, that's continuous. Like something that's happening continually.
Dude, this is like way over my head because it's been a while since I've like learned phonics and stupid shit like that. So
honestly, never paid attention to any of that until I started learning Japanese.
I don't know. I do remember learning stuff like that, but it was just like damn, like I don't know. I feel like you like learn it as a kid, but like you don't actively think about it, and then when you start like learning other things, it's a little bit different.
It's like, oh fuck, I actually give a fuck. No, let me pay attention.
Yeah. Well, it's not that I didn't ever give a fuck. I feel like it just goes into your brain as like a unconscious thing. That you
For me, it's
just
like,
something you pick
no.
up on.
I just didn't give a fuck about it because, like, there's like there's two words for this where it's like we learn a language through either like knowing the rules, or you. Well, I'm not saying it's like a binary because it definitely isn't, but most people learn it from inference, where they'll just hear other people speak. They have no idea what the rules are. They'll just sort of infer, you know, what is proper, and we'll sort of have an instinctual feeling of like, let's say like word order is like really important in English. The way you put, it can change the meaning, and also there's like when you're describing something, there's like a set word order for how you describe something. We instinctively know that. We have no idea. If you ask an English speaker, can you tell me the word order? We have no idea. We kind of just have a feeling there because we've spoken the language so much. We know what's correct and what's not correct because we've done enough reading in our lives.
Honestly, if I remember correctly, I don't think we do have a word order.
We have a word order for describing things. There's like a really specific word order. Wait, hold on. English.
Unless you're talking about like noun,
description order.
Predicate, object, or the predicate. Like...
In a sentence, the determiner comes first. This is followed by the quantity, opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, material, and purpose qualifier of the noun being described. It's like a really specific way to describe words.
Well, okay, all right. Actually, you might be right, and to be fair, I think that is how you're taught the language, which is why I don't think you're not consciously taught that stuff. But like, if
we just
I remember, like
read
in
it.
first grade, like that's how like with phonics, like that's how you like learned it. Like, the subject came first at the sentence, and then you know the verb.
Oh, that's something we learn, but
I think
we already know how to
heavily
do
ties
that.
into it. I think
But
that
we already
ties
speak
into
the
what you're
language
saying, though.
fluently. That's the thing, though. Like we've already learned that just from being a kid and learning it. Like when we start school, we're already fluent in the language. We can speak it like really clearly for the most part. But sure. And you talk to a 5-year-old, they're not like what? Like, they'll make some grammatical mistakes, but for the most part, they're pretty fluent.
I don't know. Have you spoken to a 5-year-old recently?
Well, my sister's like 9, so that.
I guess.
Yeah. It's like recent for me.
I guess. Well, also, I mean, it does also depend how much the parents were kind of involved in, you know, raising the kid. But
I think language is something that you pick up on unless you're in the forest. I think that's
sure.
like a.
I don't disagree.
I think when it comes to writing, I think that's something you have to be way more involved in. And reading. Because that's not you're not actively doing that. But you're always actively listening to people speak. It's not like you have like headphones on all the time and you can't hear anyone. Now you're always having some input, and that's always going to be useful. Because what else is a kid fucking doing but like listening, like when you're like a 2-year-old or something, or even less than that.
No, kids are literally just absorbing everything from their environment, like
exactly.
So but man, kids are dumb.
You say kids are dumb until you get your own kid, and then you start gassing the kid up. Oh my god, I didn't know he could do that. And I always hear a parent say that, and I'm like, what the fuck are you on? It's not. It's like, were you a kid so long ago that you forgot like what the standards for kids are? They can use the internet.
I guess,
what? No way.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like. I mean, yeah, the older you get, the more you forget what it's like to be a kid, for sure. Like, I don't remember too much. I do remember first grade, like, quite vividly. I will say that much.
I could definitely like, draw my school to like maybe a 95% accuracy in my primary school. 6 to 11. No, 5 to 11.
I probably could too. I definitely remember elementary school or primary school for you, like, very, very well. But middle school, not nearly as much. Damn, high school, for sure. I've forgotten a lot about high school. I'm not even gonna lie.
I forgot so much of what I learned. Can't believe school would be so easy for me now. I could easily kill school, but back then I don't know how the fuck I could. I don't know how the fuck I didn't even give a fuck. It's so
I don't know,
easy.
because there's just so many other things that like stimulate your mind, and like learning fucking geometry equations. Like, yeah, I don't think geometry is like stimulating a lot of people, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, I remember learning French in school, and it's just like I don't even know how to conjugate any single words, but it's like I've been learning Japanese for a few months, and it's like, and that's just like I know way more about Japanese than I do French. And also, Japanese is just it's way closer to English. There's no gender in the language, which is already like okay,
Actually, yeah.
way better. I don't have to put like E's and O's and I's
They
depending
have an
on.
alphabet. They have an alphabet that you can understand. Like, if you don't understand the word, okay, well, I know what the characters are. I
Oh
can
yeah,
look
if
it up.
you can
And it's why I actually hate that they're adopting Mandarin for some of their words. Like, I really hate it because I don't like Mandarin characters.
Oh, you talking
Like,
about?
I
Oh,
don't.
you talking about Chinese?
Yeah, I'm talking
So like the
because
kanji.
they adopt. Yeah, they adopt certain characters from China to like describe words. And like, what
Oh
I don't
yeah,
understand
that's.
is why don't they just continue to use the fucking
Oh no,
kanji or katakana?
no kanji is the Chinese character.
Or not
Are
kanji.
the
Yeah, yeah,
Chinese?
not kanji.
Yeah,
Hiragana or katakana.
hiragana.
I
Well,
got it
no,
mixed up.
no, they use kanji first, and then hiragana and katakana came after. So they could never get rid of the Chinese characters, and if they introduce a new word into their language, it's always in katakana. They have loan words in katakana, so like very
I also
obvious what
forget.
loan words are.
I completely forget why they have hiragana and katakana. I really don't remember.
Hiragana is like mostly what they use for everything, but katakana is used for loan words and onomatopoeia. Apart from that, it's virtually not used unless like people in media, like if they're in stories, like if a robot is talking, they'll make him talk in katakana, like do some interesting shit with that, or like a talking dog or something. I've seen that in video games before. But for the most part, katakana is. Oh, and for names too. If you have a kanji is used for like Japanese people's names, but foreign people they'll write in katakana. Or nicknames a lot of the time are written in katakana. But yeah, that's basically not used at all. Worthless to pretty worthless for the most part. But yeah,
I feel like I see them both get used pretty interchangeably, and so I don't know. It's been a while since I've learned some Japanese. I'm not gonna lie, it's been like almost 5 years for me.
it's rare to see katakana for sure. It's not common at all.
Fair, you know. Fair, you know.
But for but you're like kanji if you've studied a lot of Japanese. You'll like kanji, you'll appreciate kanji a lot, or maybe you won't. Because the reason why you like kanji is the reason why if they removed it, they could actually fix a lot of the problems with the language. There's some like more, I guess, less traditional media like video games have added spaces in between the words. Like Dragon Quest, Pokemon have spaces in between the words for Japanese. That's not something that the language usually has. It's pretty rare to see
Yeah, I was gonna say.
spaces. Makes it way easier to read with spaces. Sometimes they didn't even have kanji. They just used hiragana only. But the thing is, you have to actually be fluent in speaking the language if you want to be able to understand hiragana because they just so English has probably some of the most sounds, if not the most sounds of a spoken language that's commonly spoken. We just have a lot of
Yeah.
sounds. That's why our spelling is just atrocious because we've adopted an alphabet that does not correspond to our language. So
'Cause I know a lot
um
of Chinese languages, they don't use L. They can't pronounce L. I think they
yeah,
use
same with
R
Japanese. Yeah.
or R. I don't know. Something
Ra-da-da-dee-da-da.
along the lines of it. Yeah, something like that. They don't say R. So like when a lot of them
Mhm.
like learn, that's why so many of them are like, holy shit, like they don't pronounce
Holy
L
shit.
because it's never been a part of their phonetic
Yeah.
vocabulary.
Yeah, they have to learn it, yeah. I had to learn, I had to, I guess, relearn. I had to relearn some, things, like, when I'm in Slovakia, I'm like asking them like how to say different things so I can like actually string sentences together. And there was this one word. It's like, "Do you want?" I was like, "How do I say 'do you want?'" That's like a basic thing to be able to ask, or like, "Do I want?" And it's like "chsesh." It's like this "ch" sound, like you're spitting out something, and I just couldn't get it. Like "chsesh,"
Speaking Yiddish.
which means "do you want?" "Chsem" means I want, and I couldn't make that sound for like maybe a few days.
The
That
only
sound was
language
really
that I
hard.
know that uses a sound is like fucking Yiddish.
Yiddish, right? Um, that yeah, there is but for the most part, English is like really nice to come from. Actually, no, never mind. Because Japanese is more similar to European, like the sounds that they make versus English. I think English is like English is like Mandarin, where the sound of the language is really unique. The sound profile, like if you do a e I e o in Japanese, it will correspond to Slovak perfectly. They have the same sounds a e I e o. But in English, we also have like um a like how the way we say that alphabet like ABCD, it's like we'll go like he has a pair or something. um they don't have a in Slovak, and they don't have a in fucking like a single
Yeah.
letter for that sound. They have to like make it with more letters. I think English is actually really unique sounding language. So it is actually kind of harder to transfer into different languages, but we have a lot of sounds that it's not like too hard. It's not like Japanese where it's like they have so few sounds, and this is why going back to what I was originally talking about with kanji, why kanji is kind of nice is that not only is it really quick to read because if you know what the characters are, you don't have to like sound them out or anything like that. Like you just see the word, and because the kanjis are quite distinct, not super distinct from each other, but they're quite distinct enough to be able to like read it really quickly. But also because there's so few sounds in Japanese that so many of the words sound very similar. So many. So when you have kanji, it's really easy to differentiate. That it's actually really hard for me. If I see a word in hiragana only, I probably won't be able to recognize it unless I have a long think about it.
Yeah, that's very fair actually. And I will say that when I was learning Japanese, like having Chinese under my belt actually did make it a little bit easier because again, the kanji means the exact same thing from Mandarin and Japanese.
Yeah, a lot.
It's just the enunciation that's different.
Yeah, some combinations are different. I saw a combination, I think yesterday. It was I think it was the character for Nagai, which is long. And then no, it was like Big Hand, I think. It was the character for it's Te in Japanese or Shu. And the character for Big, and I was like, what the fuck does Big Hand mean? And it means master. So it was said Zhongguo and then Big and then hand, and Big Hand means master, so it says Chinese master. But I don't know what the fuck it said. I was like, Chinese Big Hand? Like, what the fuck does that mean? I don't know what the fuck that means. So some kanji combinations just don't exist, and there's a really sick one in Chinese, and it's the characters for Crisis. Wait, hold on. Let me look it up. Crisis. Crisis. Chinese characters.
Like I'm in crisis right now.
Weiji translates to danger. However, by itself doesn't really translate to. Oh, I thought it was just danger and opportunity. I understand this character. This is Ki. I'm pretty sure in Japanese. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's Ki in Japanese. This character, or abunai, which is the describing word, adjective for danger. A crucial point when something begins to change. Oh, it's being mistranslated. I thought it meant opportunity, because that's a really, because if it meant that, in my head canon it means that crisis, it has the characters for danger and opportunity. That's really sick. That's a really sick character, but that doesn't exist in Japanese. So some combinations are different, but yeah, you can read a lot of Japanese if you know if you understand the Chinese characters for sure. But some of them are sound out. Like some of them to be understood need to be sound out. I'm pretty sure for sushi it means like fucking. Hold on. Let me go into show. Sushi. The characters for sushi. What do they mean independently? Like independently, I'm pretty sure they mean something else. Office, yeah. Tsukasa means office. I know Sumuya means office. I didn't know there was another word for office. Like Sumuya or Sumushitsu.
I don't know. All I know is that I'm gonna try and learn Polish here soon.
Polish?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Kurwa.
Kurwa.
Kurwa. You gotta roll the R's. Kurwa.
Yeah, I can't roll my R's, my brother.
Oh man. I'm half Polish, so like.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe we can speak some. Ahoy, akasamash.
No idea what you're saying.
How are you? Ako, how? Gdzie?
I don't know like any Polish though, that's the thing. I only know
right. I know because Slovak and Polish are quite similar. I was speaking to this one guy that was in my chat. He speaks like fluent, like a bunch of different languages. That's just like Europeans in general. And yeah, it was like, man, I don't even know what the fuck you said, because they have like a slightly different pronunciation. So like konya, apparently they don't say in Slovak it's koniec. You just say it how you read it, but apparently they don't enunciate the last word, the last letter. Actually, I could just check it. Translate.
But also, I'm thinking about moving to Poland too.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's a beautiful country. How do I spell this? Koniec. The end. Polish.
Koniec.
Koniec.
Oh no, they do say that. The fuck? This guy just probably misunderstood me. Dumb fuck. Koniec.
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 Polish were really, really close. That's crazy.
Oh, how about gdzie? I don't even know how you spell this. Is that how you say it? Gdzie?
Gdzie?
Gdzie? I thought it was like a G. Oh, in Polish it's a G.
Gdzie?
Gdzie? Gdzie?
AD. That's my desktop
Gdzie?
environment.
Gdzie?
Gdzie? It's like more of a Z sound. Gdzie? Gdzie?
Gdzie?
Gdzie? Gdzie?
Gdzie?
Yeah.
I would like to learn
okay.
German too, but I don't think I have any intention of moving to Germany at any point in my life. So,
Yeah. Yeah, maybe if you go to Poland, we can meet up.
Yeah, Poland meetup for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Poland. Yeah, it depends where you move.
Apparently the job opportunities are pretty good in Poland. Apparently, I'd get a car for sure.
Right.
Or buy a BMW. I live out the Beamer dream in Poland.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently they're cheap to own there. Apparently, like a lot of people own BMWs there. Very common. Very common car. Very common. That's like the peasant mobile there.
Right. Well, I say I wasn't paying attention what cars they drive over there. But if you move to the south, hold on, let me go and pull up the map real quick.
Like Krakow.
Yeah, Krakow.
Oh, Krakow.
Yeah, Krakow. Yeah, they yeah, because my mom is Slovak, so she knows how to say it properly. Krakow. And that's why I say Katowice. Why you say Katowice? Like the C is like a T in Polish. So Krakow. The W's are V's, by the way.
Katowice. Yeah, I was gonna say Katowice, something like that.
And then the C and the Z are ch sounds, I'm pretty sure. So we
Yo,
reach
didn't they host the Counter-Strike tournament in Katowice?
Katowice is that's one of the what you call it? It's like a tier below majors. Like it's considered like a tier below majors. They have Cologne. Cologne is like probably the most iconic tournament outside of a major. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Cologne's there, yeah. On the Dusseldorf. Cologne and Katowice are considered really like if you win one of these, like you're doing good, you know, you're in the history books. But yeah, if you move to the south, yeah, this region, Orava, I'm both sides of the borders is called Orava, and Slovak is called Orava. Right here, Orava. It's called an oblast. Orava, and then this place is also called Orava. But if you move there, then yeah, that's in the mean distance because I fly to Krakow airport.
Ain't no way. Yeah, I'd tap in with you for sure. There's like very few people I meet from the zombies community, but
Right, yeah.
I was down to link up with Trickies, but he banned me from his Discord, and then I moved, so that happened.
All right.
Now I don't even have a car to go meet up with him, so get fucked, Trickies.
Yeah, ciao, Crash.
Ciao, Crash.
But yeah, the roads were so nice in Poland. Like all the roads are fucking perfect.
It's not like a super cold country, from what I understand. I don't think it's also as like retarded as Germany. Germany's like kind of a retarded country now.
Right. No idea.
Very westernized. I think Poland's a lot more Eastern Europe. Just like weird because they border each other.
You
It's
think
also
so?
really weird. It blows my mind that Europe is smaller than like the United States, but like there's so many different languages and cultures in Europe. Like it just blows my mind that like you cross the border. Because like to me, like crossing the border here is like just going to another state. Like it doesn't really mean much. Like it's pretty much the same as like anywhere else. But like you cross the border in Europe and like it's fucking like
different.
Whole different culture, yeah. Like different language, everything. Like
yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot like and like a 9-hour road trip is like not really a lot to me. Like you're traveling the same country, so like I feel like a 9-hour road trip there, like dude, you.
Oh yeah, you're going through so many different countries. Yeah. That's like not even the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be so weird.
A lot of these Slavic languages are pretty similar, so they like it's not that different going from Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland. Like a lot of the road signs are pretty much the same, and the language is not that different. Like you can communicate with each other.
Ocean kebab. But that's if you're going east. I feel like.
Poland, yeah, if you're in the east, like if you're in the west, yeah, it's completely different.
Yeah,
but
Poland's
the thing
like
is,
most Slavic nation, if I understand correctly.
Well, Czechia.
I don't think German. Oh, Czech. Well, Slovakia. I get. Well, yeah, no.
No, Czechia is like furthest left, but it's not. It's not like Poland is not that far.
Well,
but yeah.
Isn't Austria? No, because.
No, Austria is Germanic.
Yeah.
Big German over there. Vienna. I want to see Vienna.
Imagine living in France. Couldn't be me, dude. What a shithole.
France shithole? Nah, France is best. Hey, UK is a real shithole. Get me out of there.
No, that is so true. UK is a major shithole. And you're like isolated, so stinky.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's the worst thing coming from the UK is that you're like all uppity. Like you just don't speak anyone else's language unless you're like a migrant or something. So you're just fucked. If you only live in England, if you only speak English, like if you live in England, like you probably only speak English. Have no gateway to another language. But in Europe, it's like, oh yeah, oh it's like, oh you all just speak like fluent English. Like, that's fucking wild. And oh, you speak German too. It's like, what the fuck? And it's like way more of a culture where it's like you'll be able to like communicate with each other, like actually learn each other's languages.
Ukraine would have been cool to move to.
Would have been cool to move to, yeah. Probably not. Probably not right now.
Yeah, probably not anymore. Definitely not Romania. Fuck Romania.
No, you don't like Romania. Cluj-Napoca. That's one where that was one of the majors.
Dude, where the fuck is Turkey on the map? I know
It's over here.
Now.
Turkey, yeah. Turkey, yeah. No, it's pretty big. It's probably the biggest. Well, most of it is in Asia, but Istanbul and everything west of it is Europe. Ardine.
People talking about how great Turkey is from like their apartment in fucking
Germany. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. Sultanate was the stereotype.
Sultanate, dude.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sultanate is the stereotype where it's like, yeah, this is how great Turkey is. Apparently, like even in the most like the people like even in like the most like nationalist parts of the country in Turkey, nowhere near, like on average nowhere near as nationalistic as like the expats, the Turkish expats. It's fucking crazy. They are so obsessed with Turkey. But even in people in Turkey, like for the most part, like being on the internet, so like a lot of people on Minecraft are also Turkish, like in the community that I was in. And the thing is like no one was like really like super nationalistic. Like if one of your like people got into beef with each other, it's like you're not taking sides based on like country lines. You're just seeing like, maybe whoever you like more, whoever's like, part of like your side of the community or something like that. That's who you'd be taking sides from.
Move like the Jews.
But Turkish people, it's like, oh, there was like one Turkish guy that was like potentially cheating, and then all the like comment sections of like roasting this guy would just be you'd be dislike botted to hell, and then you'd be would you call it, your whole comment section would just be Turks, just talking shit on you, talking in Turkish. And they'd be like, fuck you American, and it's like, bro, we're from the UK, I'm saying, like some of us are not even from the UK, we just speak English. They're calling us Americans. Man, these guys were they were crazy crazy beefing with like the rest of the community hated these guys, and I couldn't. And then the craziest thing happened. So there's this character that crashes Turkish versions of Windows or Turkish Minecrafts. I don't know if it was Turkish Windows or Turkish Minecrafts. And that was crazy, right? Because imagine it's like the worst side of the community. They're like very laggy because like these servers are hosted in Western Europe, and they just have shit internet for some reason. And a lot of them cheat too. And so, like, think about Russians from CS:GO, basically. We basically found a way to kick them out of our games. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, how did that land in our laps? So we started doing it. We just kept kicking out the Turks, and it'd be like half the lobbies would just disintegrate. Right. But the thing is, it turned into a thing where it's like, oh fuck, we shouldn't do this, because it's like half the population is just like disappearing, and it makes it's just gonna make them not want to use the server, and we're just gonna kill our own server. So we probably shouldn't be doing that. It's probably a bad thing to do.
Damn, if only the zombies community like could have picked up on that.
It's just fucking bad.
Yo, unrelated, but if you guys are looking for any Among Us like games, spin-off Souls-like, there's a new game out called Dale and Dawson Stationary Supplies. It's actually pretty fun.
How do I spell this? Hold on.
Dale and Dawson, DALE ampersand DAWS.
I found it.
At Dale & Dawson Stationary Supplies, we expect nothing less than excellence. Your job is simple.
How do I speed up the video?
But
oh shit, hold on, this is game based? Oh wait, she was slapping me, what the fuck? I thought I was slapping her ass.
but
Dude,
be warned
okay,
for the
so I was
slackers
playing
hiding
this
in
and like
plain sight.
this game is like so
It's up to
new,
the
but
manager
like
to fire
I guess
them
someone already figured out how to like cheat in the game,
before they
and they
bring
were
the
just like
company
printing
down.
off like
Can you
fucking
keep
Nikocado like backdoor
productivity high
photos in the
or will
printer,
the slackers outsmart
getting them
you?
everywhere.
Let's find out.
Well, what is this game even about?
It's literally it's like Among Us. You have specialists, which are the people that like do their job, and then you have slackers, which are people who like fuck off around their job.
Mm-hmm.
And you're trying to fire all the slackers essentially.
Oh, okay.
But there could be more. There's more than like 2 imposters essentially.
Okay.
So like,
Okay, that
right, you
sounds
have the space
interesting.
crew and you have the imposters, right? So put it in Among Us terms.
To Among Us, imposters remain.
But there's like a manager, and then you could promote people to assistant. It's actually kind of fun. Shelby and I've been playing it. He bought the game for me. Shout out Shelby, dude, for real. Like,
Mm-hmm. It reminds me, I was meant to buy. I was thinking of buying a game for someone because they bought me a game. They were like, "Oh, I saw this on your wish list. I actually really fuck with this game." And I was like, "Fuck, that's really nice of you."
I feel bad when people buy me games because I almost never pay it back, but also I haven't really been in the position to pay it back. Like that's the other
Yeah,
thing,
no,
you know?
save it. Yeah, wait 5 years. Write it down on a notepad or something. Wait 5 years.
Not for real. I do owe Shelby a pretty big one because you're a real G. Even though he pissed me off sometimes, but you're a real one. For real.
Like how you just include that. I'm gonna go. I want to kill my Japanese before I go to sleep, and my head is fucking killing me. So.
No, that's fair. Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't blame
Right.
you.
Oh, man, my stream.